Hey kids, it's time to get some SML podcast all up in that.
What's up, everybody? This is the SML podcast. I am your host, Joe. Joining as usual, Cole. How are you doing?
I'm not dead.
That's good.
So I guess I'm fine.
That is good. How
are you?
I am incredibly disappointed that last episode was 619 and I didn't make one Rey Mysterio joke for wrestling.
I don't understand this
I know,
reference.
but I get the reference, and that's all that matters.
Okay. I wonder if our guest understands the reference.
I don't know. Guess, do you understand the reference?
Rey Mysterio?
If it were about like Spider-Man Mysterio, I would probably get it. Did you do something for episode 616? Because that's appropriate in that case.
No.
But no, I don't unfortunately get the Rey Mysterio reference. I know who he is.
How long till we're on 666?
I mean, we're getting close. This is 620.
Oh. Not as close as I was hoping for when you word it like that. The goal is to do episode 666 backward.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. We're kind of going backwards here because we didn't even introduce you yet. Chris Baker of Zen Studios, welcome back to the show. How are you doing?
Hi. I'm great. And it's glad to hear that you're both alive, too, because that makes for much better podcasting.
Yes, it does, especially because I've been feeling like absolute garbage the past 24 hours. So the fact that I'm here is a good sign that the show is happening and I am still alive and we're doing this.
Yeah, apparently I saw today on Twitter, today is International Podcasting Day as well. So
yeah, allegedly.
Thank you for having me on this this holiest of holy days.
Holiest.
That explains why Ava Media was trying to sell me shit today. I was like, what is this?
Oh, God.
I got some kind of email about podcasts. I was like, no, I'm just going to delete that.
That's a good idea, probably.
Yeah. If it says podcast in the title of the email, I'm like, nope, gone. I won't pay attention to that shit. Who pays attention to podcasts?
Nobody.
Which is exactly why you do them 619 times, right?
Well, this is what you're...
Wait, we didn't bring a guest to attack me. What is...
Well, Chris, this is what you're... third, fourth, fifth, something like that.
Yeah, I think I was here like my first week or before I was an official Zen employee even. So, yeah, that would have been like 3 years ago. So, yeah, I think, 4 sounds good. We'll go with that.
Yeah, we'll work with that. That's
sorry.
4 too many times, honestly. So we're sorry, but thank you for being here. You were here to chat about the brand new Zen game that just came out, CastleStorm II. For the people who don't know what this game is, give us the sales pitch.
Yeah. Well, as you might imply from the title, it is the sequel to CastleStorm I, which came out actually, 7 years ago. It is the biggest non-pinball game that we at Zen Studios have ever made, at least in terms of popularity. And it was about time for us to do a follow-up to it. And anyone who played the original game, they know that it was like kind of this genre mishmash. You had like kind of Angry Bird style projectile attacks mixed with like RTS, mixed with like hack and slash. And, we wanted to keep that, make that, still in the game. It's all in the service of destroying castles and claiming castles and defending your own castle and that kind of thing. Before it was very level based, you would go from, CastleStorm to CastleStorm, with some cute little cutscenes in between. But in this one, whereas before we were a super genre mishmash, we are now a super duper genre mishmash. In that we have a 4X strategy layer, so sort of a Civilization, Heroes of Might and Magic's kind of hexagonal map where you move your character around, and that's how you engage in the sort of like CastleStorm fights, and that's how you claim your territory. You have resource management and fog of war and all those good things that come with that genre as well. And yeah, it's a much bigger game altogether with two pretty big quests that I had the pleasure of writing, and I think they're amusing. That they amuse me, so hopefully you all think so as well. And that's the basic spiel. It's now available Epic Game Store and pretty much all the relevant consoles today.
Xbox, Switch, PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I'm curious, when you start writing a genre mashup game like this, do you decide first the narrative of the game, or do you decide first how many different genres you're going to cram in?
That's a good question. The game design document when I came on was pretty much done. It's always a work in progress, but the core of it was there. Most of the characters were already created, and most of their kind of defining personality characteristics were just like in a quick little bio fashion, sort of like planned out. We have Sir Gavin, who is the one of the heroes from the previous game. Actually, Sir Gavin is the hero from the DLC of the previous game, because the hero of the main game, Sir Gareth, he died. Spoiler alert.
Rip.
Died a heroic death at the end of the core game of CastleStorm, and then the DLC, his son takes over.
You shoot him with your own javelin, don't you?
No, it's like some big monster just eats him. I don't know. It doesn't even happen in gameplay. I don't know. This is before my time.
I was like 110%. I shot him with my own burst javelin.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, we have Sir Gavin returning, and he's like your heroic knight who's all about being a hero. He's kind of, my inspirations for him were kind of like a mix of like Thor Ragnarok version of Thor, and the Tick. There's a little bit of the Tick in him, I would say. He's always got his chest puffed out, wants to do what he feels is the heroic thing, even though it might not always prove to be what's actually the right thing to do. Like characters like that. We have our vampire princess Luna, who's kind of like a Harley Quinn-esque type of character. Our very stately sorceress Meredith. So like these characters were all kind of created already. It was just a matter of kind of taking this, the maps that we had and kind of crafting a story around it. And, what we came up with was like there's been these huge earthquakes that have entirely reshaped the face of the world, called the Great Cataclysm. And you're working your way through this world to reclaim it for the kingdom, which it's just called the kingdom. That's it's not like some grand name like Operencia or something like that, like the previous game. I think that's also kind of the charm of it too. And then whereas in the last game it was like a Viking threat, in this game it is the undead. The undead have started rising to the eastern portion of the map, and zombies and succubi and all these undead creatures are starting to attack the humans. No one quite knows why it's happening, but then you play through the game and you learn it all, and hopefully enjoy the process. And then, you actually, after you beat Sir Gavin's quest, you play a whole other second quest as Luna, the vampire princess. So it's kind of two games in one.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I did not beat the game, I will admit right now. I got about, 50 some turns into the tutorial level, and then I went to change consoles and I accidentally picked my local file instead of the cloud file. And I had to start all the way over from scratch.
Wow.
Yeah, I was pretty excited at that. I was was like, good job, Joe. You're doing good today.
You're killing it.
You are killing it indeed.
Story-wise, what happens 50 turns in?
Oh my Lord, where was I? Like, I don't even think I made it that far story-wise because I've been going to every single different icon. Like, ooh, could I build a mine here? Ooh, there's something shiny here. There's some gold. It's like, I got to save up money so I could build a castle. And then I build the castle and then I start, working with what's in the castle and the castle management stuff. And it's like 40 games here, and I don't know which one I'm supposed to focus on.
Yeah, this is very much a game where your mileage is going to vary as to how long it takes to play through it. Because, there's some people who might just want to straight conquer each critical path objective. Boom, boom, boom.
I want to do everything.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's
Shiny
my
object
gaming
syndrome.
personality too. So, I wish, sometimes people ask how long a game is. It's it's just really hard to answer that. It's not short, is what I'll say.
No, it's not short at all.
Yeah.
This game is huge.
There's two of them. So there's plenty to do in the game for sure.
So you get your bang for your buck with this title.
And there's zombie sheep.
Yeah, zombie sheep.
Yep. And regular sheep. Sheep are one of the typically as was the tradition in medieval times, were something you would put in your ballista to destroy a castle. The game obviously doesn't take itself too seriously. Monty Python's a huge influence. That's not just this game. It was definitely the one before it as well. It's a blast to work on. It's fun to work on something so cartoonish that, also has, typically a 4X style game, which, if your audience doesn't know, it's like Civilization and, Heroes of Might and Magic, games like that.
The resource management that Cole loves.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of that.
Why are you attacking me again?
I'm not. You love your resource management.
It's true.
But yeah, typically those types of games tend to take themselves, pretty seriously. I mean, for the most part, like Civilization has some funny stuff, like Gandhi being a warlord or whatever. But yeah, so this whole game does not take itself seriously at all, and that made it a lot of fun. And at the same time, it's really gory.
It is. I'm surprised how bloody this game was when I first started playing.
Yeah, it is extremely bloody. But at the same time, it might take 5 or 6 hits from a javelin to take somebody down. So they're just walking down the battlefield with a huge javelin sticking out of their back, and,
or a morning star lodged in their face.
Yeah, right.
It only takes that many javelins to kill the enemy. You can kill your own teammates pretty fucking easy. I'm really salty about friendly fire.
There's plenty of friendly fire. There's also spells, and there's, if you cast your lightning spell, if you do it too close to your own guys, it can do a lot more harm than good.
Yeah.
Yeah, learn that the hard way.
My favorite spell is the grab spell, where you can actually take the cursor and grab a character and just let the physics take over, and who knows where they're going to land. There's a lot of sometimes funny results from that.
I have that spell, and I didn't know whether it was worth trying out or not. But now that you're telling me what it does, and that you could just fling them, because I love the ragdoll physics in this game. Nothing makes me smile more than a javelin hitting someone square in the head and seeing their body flip backward.
Yeah. There's moments where you're just playing through the game, and especially if you use the grab spell, where if you just toss someone way up in the air, it's going to take 5-6 seconds for them to hit the ground. So depending on the angle, it could be off screen. It could be right in the middle of the battlefield. And it lands there right as you're, right when you least expect it. There's some, just fun, random things that happen from those types of physics.
Gotta love it. Cole, I'm going to ask a question you were going to ask, but
You bastard.
I am a bastard, but I'm the one talking now, so I'm going to jump and take the question. Was there ever any consideration to having an option to turn off friendly fire in this game?
That's a good question. I don't think so, because it is kind of, it does add like another part to just the whole skill of it all. You know, if you want to not shoot your own guys, you could always just send out fewer of them, or you know, kind of break up the cadence of how you send them out. Or, you know, you make sure that your weakest guys are out there, so they're just cannon fodder and expendable and easily replaced.
Send the red shirts.
Yeah. There's a trailer we have where we have our Sir Gavin giving you tips, and he's like, "Send out the cannon fodder. Fine Kingdom soldiers." Yeah, it's. I don't know. I thought it was amusing. So yeah, I you know, the game was mainly developed in Hungary. I am not in Hungary, so sometimes like those kinds of decisions are meetings spoken in Hungarian that I'm not part of. So I don't know if that was ever considered or not, but I don't know. I think it was always just part of what the game is. It was part of the first game too.
How does that make you feel, Cole?
I don't have the patience to sit and like set a cadence for my troops to go out. I'm just like, send out these guys, murder with these sticks, and shoot some lightning here, and I just want everything to be dead in a pile at the base of my tower.
Well, I guess I didn't outright say it, but there is like strategy in those. You know, it is a tower defense game at that point, basically. So, you know, and that's part of the game.
Get good, scrub, right?
Oof. Yeah. I want to be a scrub forever. I like easy mode.
But thank you both for playing. It's nice to know you both put some time into it.
Yeah,
well, somebody's got to review shit around here.
True. I put her to work, crack the whip, make her do everything. Yeah, we did review the game. I said it was originally last episode, but it's actually last week. This is the episode 622, not 20, because I do shit out of order. And I might as well just, you know, admit it. But we reviewed it last week on the show, and I think friendly fire was one of the only gripes we had with the game. That, and we weren't a fan of the cursor.
Okay, that's fair. Like you're playing on Xbox?
Yes.
Yeah. We do have some new. By the time this airs, there will have been some a patch that will have. I don't know if it addresses that issue specifically, but there are some that it does. But yeah, I understand. I hear you on the cursor. You know, it was developed as a PC game first.
No,
so
kind of figured.
There's that sort of thing comes with the territory, but you know, you get the cursor a lot more in games now too. Like you know, I've been playing Avengers. It's basically got the cursor everywhere. I think that's kind of the line of thinking is like it's kind of modernized a little bit, but I hear you if you didn't like it.
I think it just need to be a little bit quicker, but thankfully there is a sensitivity option in the settings, so you can dick with it.
Yeah. I'm curious, you said that the team that did most of the development work is in Hungary and you don't speak Hungarian. Did you find that posed any special challenges with writing the narrative and getting across what you wanted when it came to development?
No. Because actually, believe it or not, most people in Hungary speak very good English, or at least the ones that
everybody in other countries is multilingual and speaks English perfectly, and we're like, can't English work? And it's bad. I said tower instead of tower earlier, so I'm not allowed to say anything about anybody else's accent.
Yeah, you know, Zen Studios is a Hungarian company. You know, there's me in New York, and then Mel, who's been on your show a few times, and our PR person Desiree are in California. But yeah, pretty much everyone's in Hungary, And, that's why Operencia was based around Hungarian mythology. Pinball's pretty big in Hungary, believe it or not. They have an awesome pinball museum in Budapest, if you're ever there.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're ever in Budapest, and COVID is in the rearview mirror,
if we're ever allowed to leave the country again.
Yes, exactly.
That's a tall order, sir.
They mentioned pinball's big over there. We can't have you on the show and not ask about pinball. How's things going with Pinball FX3?
Pinball's good. Actually, I don't work on pinball, so I kind of, I sit in on meetings and stuff, but I don't actually. For the most, here and there, I'll pitch something in, but for the most part, I'm not working on the pinball. But pinball is very much alive. We haven't put out as many tables this year as we typically do. That'll change eventually.
Well, you've been busy with Operencia and CastleStorm, so I could kind of understand why the pinball.
The thing is, like, a common misconception is that we are just like one team, and we do whatever we're working on, but we're actually 4 teams.
Wow. And
only one of them is pinball. And, so our other teams are doing things like Operencia. Dreadnautical was another recent game.
Mm-hmm.
CastleStorm, of course, that's the 3 other teams. Dreadnautical team is now working on something new.
You can't talk about
Dreadnautical 2. Confirmed.
But no, the cool thing about Zen right now is just like, pinball is a huge part of who we are, and it always will be, and, arguably will always be the biggest part of what we are. But, we're gamers and as a whole, and we like making video games that we like to play. And sometimes that extends beyond just pinball. So
yeah.
It was funny because I was looking on Steam for questions. That's what I do. Is I go to like bulletin boards and forums and look for questions that y'all just haven't already answered to hound you about while you're on the show.
Okay.
And somebody had made a post on one of them. I think it was on Steam. I don't remember for certain. But it was like, they should focus on pinball. And it was somebody who hadn't even played any of the other games. So I was looking at their profile. And I was like, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say y'all are big enough to multitask.
Yeah. We still consider ourselves an indie. We're on the bigger end of things as far as indies go, but we're very much independent. Haven't been Bethesda'd by Microsoft or anything.
I was gonna say Microsoft hasn't bought you yet, but I didn't want to jinx anything.
The robots are outside in the bushes watching now. Oh, you want to be purchased, huh?
Yeah, we kind of thrive on, the idea of still being indie. Most indies don't have Star Wars and Marvel and Aliens and Jaws and E.T. and Back to the Future and Jurassic Park as things that they have worked on. It's
impressive the licenses you've gotten.
An indie studio?
Who?
Bungie, because they don't.
Yeah.
They're now technically an indie studio, right?
I'm pretty sure they're qualified as indie because they're just themselves. No one owns them.
They're just out there floating in
They're
space.
just a really big indie.
Yeah.
Well, like for the longest time until Disney bought them, Lucasfilm was an indie.
It was an indie.
Yeah.
People
the first 6 Star Wars movies were indie
small. That's not always true.
Yeah. Yeah, Lucasfilm made indie films that were indie films.
You bastard. Carnage in chat is asking if there's any chance of CastleStorm and Operencia pinball tables.
There's always a chance of everything. There actually is a CastleStorm 1 pinball table, which they may already know. That exists. You can buy it now. At the moment, we're not working on those at the moment. I'd like to, but yeah, that's not what we're working on right now.
What are you working on right now?
Other stuff.
Look, it wouldn't be the SML podcast
I'll just say I had a very, very informative, long, productive call today about future stuff, and it's all really awesome, and probably stuff you're not expecting. So
Stuff we're not expecting.
Yep.
Dating game.
Oh man, they got it.
Romance visual novel with a pinball mini game, just because it's Zen.
It's a romance of pinballs. It's a 2-player pinball game where you have to bring the two. No, I don't. It's not that. I don't.
When 2 pinball tables fall in love.
when 2 pinballs love each other very much.
The wildest one I've seen. Don't forget that Data Fidget Spinner exists, okay?
Oh, my lord. Root Beer's My Jam saying we need the Marvel table on Switch, please. Is that some feedback you could pass up onto the people who make the decisions?
It is feedback we've been hearing loud and clear for a while now, but there's nothing else I can say at this time.
Nothing else you can say at this.
Yeah.
Robots. I hear them beeping.
Yeah, the
They're
golden
coming
robots.
with the laser eyes.
For those who don't know, a pretty cool thing coming with pinball is working with Arcade 1-Up. And we've got, I think it's, I forget when they all come out, but I think a couple are due out pretty soon. There's a Star Wars table with, Arcade 1-Up does the like 3/4 size arcade machines.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing a Star Wars pinball machine with 10 tables on it. And a Williams pinball machine. I don't remember how many tables are on it, but it's got Attack from Mars is like the main art there, I think. And then later it'll be a marble pinball table, which has been announced, and all those things are out there. Just look up Arcade 1-Up pinball, and you can find them all. Any
idea what the price on those is going to be? Because I know those things are usually like $300, $400, $500 depending on what you're getting.
I don't remember. That's kind of Arcade 1-Up is handling all that stuff, so I don't actually remember if they have announced prices yet. And if they did, I don't remember what they are. So.
I've wanted to get a few of those, and every time I see one in the store and I'm like, honey, she's like, no, you have nowhere to put it. We can't afford it. You want an Xbox. Shut the fuck up.
Yes, I need the Star Wars one at some point.
I want to get the NBA Jam one. Have you seen that one?
Oh God, I need that too. Yeah, there's no single video game I've spent more money on than the arcade version of NBA Jam.
And the crazy thing is, it's online.
Yeah,
the NBA Jam machine is online. That is insane that they have an Arcade 1-Up machine and the game is on. Oh my God, you could just play people at NBA Jam at all hours of the day. The arcade never closes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, so pinball tables coming to Arcade 1-Up.
Yep, with hour games that you can play.
I'm interested in the Star Wars one. The fact that there's 10 tables in there has me pretty excited. That sounds really, really good.
Yeah, I think it's 10. If it's not 10, don't sue me, but I think it's...
I will sue you. The paperwork is already in motion.
Sounds right.
So what is going on at Zen that you are able to talk about? I'm not sure what's public, what you're able to discuss with us besides CastleStorm. Anything you are able to talk about?
That is an excellent question. Just that we're still working on pinball. And these other teams are doing things. I think there's a lot. There's some cool announcements in the works for sure. Some stuff I'm really excited about, especially with pinball. There's some really cool pinball stuff in the works.
Is there any talk of an enhanced version of FX3 for the Series X and PS5?
We're certainly talking about the new consoles and for everything. So that's. There's nothing I can talk to at this point.
My 120 frame per second pinball.
But we're going to be making pinball tables for a long time, so I guess draw your own conclusions there.
Pinball 4.
Are you aware? This is newish. We recently put our RPG Operencia. We released an a VR, different initials, a VR patch for it. So if you have VR, PlayStation VR or VR on your PC, Oculus, all that. You can. It's a free add-on to the core game.
Ooh, I might have to.
I didn't even know it was in VR.
It's
I'm
a
fighting
recent
to
thing.
sneeze
It's like
really hard. I'm
within the
sorry.
last month.
Let it go,
Like,
Cole.
what?
Let it fly.
My nose is like getting more and more stopped up. My eyes are watering. I'm holding on over here.
Let it fly. Let it fly.
I
Don't hold it
tried.
in.
It's just stuck. I'm
That's the
sorry.
worst when a sneeze is just stuck.
It hurts so bad I can't think straight. Oh, I'm struggling. I didn't even know that Operatia had a VR mode.
Well, yeah, it's recent. It's like in the last month. That's kind of why.
Wow. Y'all snuck
Kinda why
that
I
in under the
said it.
radar. You gotta scream that from the rooftops or something.
Oh, and we did announce Williams Volume 6. I can't remember if we announced the date yet, but we did announce Williams Volume 6, and that is Funhouse is probably the main one. That's the one with the big head on it. If you've ever been, big dummy head voiced by
I've
Ed
seen
Boon,
that in the
creator of
arcades
Mortal
back in the day.
Yeah, it's voiced by Ed Boon, the creator of Mortal Kombat. It's
Really?
fun, yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and yeah, so Funhouse is the big one. Then Dr. Dude is another one, and an older one called Space Station
Oh,
is coming. So that is this year. I don't know if we've set a specific date yet. I don't think we have. So I'll let our marketing team handle that one. But that is probably the one thing I can actually talk about other than those arcade one-up tables.
it's a shame Grant's not here. He'd probably be able to tell us everything about those 3 tables.
Mhm.
Grant
Yeah,
is a
well-
savant when it comes to pinball.
Yeah, if you walked in an arcade in the 90s, you probably came across Funhouse. And, the big dummy head probably started annoying you if you were near it for a while.
Oh, man. So what have you been up to? Like, what are you gaming lately? What are you playing? What are you spending your spare time on? Are you excited for the new consoles coming out?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I've theoretically got my PS5 reserved through Amazon. I got the same, we're not sure if we can get this to you email, and I think pretty much everyone who ordered through Amazon did. So yeah, looking forward to that. I really want to play Miles Morales. I'm working my way through Avengers right now, mostly. Yeah, I'm still a pretty new dad, and that's still taking up a lot of my time. I think the last time I was here, I was a brand new dad. So yeah, my daughter is about 5.5 months old now, and that takes up a lot of the time that used to go toward recreational gaming. But it's a nice, fun game on its own. Very
I'd
realistic,
like to tell you
awesome
that
graphics.
I'd like to tell you that gets better as they get older, but I got one pushing 17 soon, and it don't.
Yeah, well, I do look forward to the time when she, hopefully takes an interest. If she doesn't take an interest in it, then, I'm not going to force it upon her. But if she does choose to, actually, it's hilarious, actually. I'm playing Avengers, and she, reaches out for the controller and rips it out of my hand. And, she actually, takes the analog stick and moves it around. It on the screen, you just see, a top view of the screen twirling around and around Captain America or whatever. But, she seems, and I've tried to give her a decoy controller, and she complains.
They never fall for the decoys. I don't care how old they are.
I feel like she actually knows she's controlling something, if incredibly poorly.
I actually have photos of number one laying in the floor with a PlayStation controller when she was maybe 3-4 months old.
That have been
and now she wants to be a game
controller.
developer.
She's 17 now. Is that
well, it wasn't a new console. We had older
Gotcha.
ones.
Yeah.
So. I had a GameCube for the duration of my pregnancy with her. That was all I played was GameCube.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. I love my GameCube still.
It was me and Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles for the last 6 months of that pregnancy.
Oh, I have Crystal Chronicles. Come on up. Let's play. Bring your Game Boy so we could all play together.
So it was it's apparently like once they get bit by the controller bug, that's all there is to it. Like she wants to be a game developer now, and she takes classes through college for programming languages I'll never fucking understand. And I'm like, well, I don't know, make the next game I get to not review on the SML podcast, and we'll do fine. Yeah, I like to think she's going to make a game that's too big, and the PR company's going to be like, no, you guys can't have that. And I'll be like, but my kid made it.
That would be hilarious if that eventually happened. Honey, can we review your game on our show? No, Mom. Not your shitty little show.
You guys need to have at least 10 viewers. Come on.
One day we'll get to double digits. I believe in us.
No, you don't.
I don't. Not at all. Oh, man. So, Chris, what are you looking forward to this holiday? You mentioned Miles Morales. Any other launch titles you're looking forward to?
It's probably the biggest one. I mean, I'm gaming so slowly these days. Like that's going to keep me busy for a while. I don't know if I'll ever get around to it, but I'm very interested in the new Assassin's Creed. That is very much. It's going to be huge though, and that just really intimidates me in my current state. So looking forward to that. What else? There's definitely other stuff, and my mind is just a blank right now for some reason. Oculus, the new Quest 2. I'm really looking forward to checking that out. Just it just looks really awesome in terms of a big step up in VR from all I'm hearing.
I need to get some kind of new VR situation. Like I have a PlayStation VR, and it's okay, but it's incredibly limited. Like they are super limited by the fact that they're using a $60 webcam and controllers that are 15 years old.
Yeah. I guess recently as well, I've been playing Iron Man VR. But then my daughter's play area expanded, and I don't have room anymore. So I'll never know if he catches ghosts. I don't know. But I really enjoyed that game actually.
Iron Man VR. What do you do in that one?
What do you do?
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
The
one.
Iron Man.
I didn't know if it was like a mini game compilation or if there was an actual adventure to it.
It's like it's the kind of thing where if they really wanted to, they could probably convert it to a controller. It's all first person inside Iron Man's helmet, flying around, hovering, shooting stuff with your palms out. I'm gonna have to hook the VR back up, aren't I? Secondary weapons. It feels pretty good. It actually they did a really nice. It's by Camouflage, who did Republique back in the day, a few years ago.
Oh, I remember that game.
Yeah, Ryan Payton, who's known for Metal Gear, like he's kind of the American voice of Metal Gear, promoting it and that sort of thing. In the 2000s, anyway. They did a great job with that. There's some loose like Spider-Man connections here and there I'm finding too. Like, it talks about like plot points that were in the Spider-Man game.
It's cool that there's crossover there. I am getting tired of this.
They're not officially the same, but it feels like they wanted it to be the same. I don't know.
I will say, I hope this whole Spider-Man exclusivity thing ends soon because I miss seeing Spider-Man on other consoles.
Yeah, there's a lot of legal stuff that I think most people don't understand. And I don't know how much I can speak to that. I used to work at Marvel, if you didn't know. So
is this deal your fault?
Absolutely not. I haven't been there in 6 years. So I have a lot of speculation that I haven't heard anyone say yet, but I can't state it myself and feel comfortable doing so. So I'm not.
Just write out a note to me and I'll read it on the air. An anonymous source claims that.
Right.
Oh, man. Well, Cole, any questions that you wanted to ask?
No, unfortunately, I think we covered most of what I wanted to talk about because you stole my question, you asshole.
I did. It did. I'm a dickhead.
That was a sort of friendly fire on its own, wasn't it?
It was. See how much I hate friendly fire? Look how salty I am. This is bad for my blood pressure.
Oh, we do what we can. We do what we can. Chris, was there anything else you wanted to talk about before we wrap up? I know this is kind of a quicker one, but I feel like we got through everything.
Yeah. I hope, the CastleStorm, I would say, is like, as much as you hear us talk about it, you really have to look at it to understand what's going on. Because there's really nothing quite like it. It's like, it's a bunch of different types of games thrown together into something that, I think we all feel works as a new type of game. And nothing really combines these genres like CastleStorm does. And I think that's something we're all particularly proud of.
And it's funny as hell.
Good.
I love the humor in the game.
Yeah. Have you gotten to the undead yet? You met them yet?
Yes.
All? Okay.
Yes, it is ridiculous.
Good. Have you met the characters? Like actually met them? Like talked to them? No,
I haven't. I know that they are there. I haven't interacted with them yet, so I'm looking forward to that. This whole fucking save reset thing, it just crushed my soul.
Oh no.
I'm back to like 30 turns back into it, and I've been going quicker through, but I just it is so big and so long, and I should learn about phrasing because that sounded terrible.
How did you treat the spiders? The purple spiders.
I tried to be nice to the spiders, but I wasn't nice enough and it backfired on me.
I just killed them.
It took over everything. I tried to be nice and I still offended it somehow and got my ass whooped.
Okay, I don't see how you're only a little nice. There's a choice of do I kill them or I don't kill them.
It's a skill. I was like, I'm gonna be nice and not kill them, and then my finger slipped and I killed them.
Well, there's certain points in the game where you can make choices, and your end game is always going to be pretty much the same. But for like the next 30 minutes to an hour, you're going to have like different obstacles to overcome depending on what choice you made. So if you killed the spiders, this is a fairly early thing that you do, and the spiders have taken over this town, and they plead. They're like, hey, we're just misunderstood. We're going to leave here soon. Our place is in disarray. Please spare us. So you can choose to spare them or not. And if you choose to spare them, I guess this is a little spoilery, but I'll just tell you what the very gist of what happens. If you choose to spare them, then there's another like knight out there who has his own. He's like a mercenary, actually. He has his own band, and he's been hired to take you out because you were supposed to take out the spiders. And so that's a whole like quest you will get only if you chose to take out the spiders. But if you
son of a bitch, I'm restarting my game again.
or not to. Sorry, if you chose not to take out the spiders. And if you did choose to take out the spiders, then a bunch of the spiders they hear about it and they give you a really hard time getting through the rest of the map. So they're very vengeful.
So what you're telling me is you can't win either way.
Yeah. Carnage has a quick question. He says, curious about the All-Star achievement in CastleStorm II. Nobody seems to have unlocked it yet. Is it very hard, time-consuming, or possibly glitched?
I don't know. What's the All-Star achievement?
For unlocking All-Stars in arcade mode.
I did not do the achievements for this game, and I am not familiar with that achievement, so I'm sorry, I just don't know.
If Carnage is in chat, he's going to ask an achievement-related question.
Okay.
So don't feel bad. Like, it's inevitable.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to figure out what it is. All-Star Achievement CastleStorm 2 is, what is it? Oh, okay, it doesn't explain it. Oh, unlock all stars in arcade mode. Oh, I don't know. I guess no one's done that yet. I don't know. It's still, hasn't been out that long yet.
Yeah, Carnage, give us some time. Jesus, so impatient.
yeah, it means you've got to be really good at the game, and it is a big game, and it takes a while to get really good at it. So I can see no one having gotten that yet. It's possible.
Yeah. So Carnage, get good, scrub.
Maybe he can do it first, or she can do it first. I'm not sure if Carnage is male or female.
None of us know. Well, I know. It's Scott.
Is it actually Cletus Cassidy?
We have theories, but we could be wrong.
Yeah.
There's an old Carnage Spider-Man story where Carnage learned how to move through the internet and like pop up in people's computers. This was like 1995 when most people didn't have the internet. And like no one really understood it. So like that was one of his powers for a while. Pretty dumb.
Back then, my dad believed that a computer virus could legitimately give you a cold.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not a lot of understanding back in those days of how it worked.
Oh, man. On that note, I guess we will wrap this up. Chris, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us.
Thanks for having me.
It is always a pleasure having you on. You'll have to come back again when you're allowed to talk about more stuff that you're not allowed to talk about now.
I'll tell you a secret, though. Even when you're allowed to tell us basically everything you're doing, Joe's still going to find a way to ask a question about something you can't tell us about.
It'll happen.
He's a good host.
Don't give him that.
No, don't say that. Don't. I am not good at what I do at all.
I have nothing but respect for questions like that. I started out as a journalist in the games industry, so.
Wait, does that mean I could have asked the question about people being mad about CastleStorm being an Epic exclusive and you wouldn't have gotten mad at it?
No, I wouldn't do that.
I always feel like an ass when I bring that up when we're interviewing somebody whose game is an Epic exclusive and people are pissed.
Yeah, I don't understand how. There are people like that, and if they're like that, that's fine. That's who they are, I guess. But I don't think it's healthy to maintain that degree of hate for
a
year and a half, 2 years almost. The Epic store's been around.
Yeah, I don't see people get as pissed about Epic exclusives anymore. I think it's just gotten to the point where it's like, okay, it's going to happen.
Ooblets would like to have a word with you.
And if you spend, if you just keep the Epic store open, you're going to get like, what is it, 2 free games a week or every other week or something? It's a lot of free games. There's a lot of free games I have that, came out for 40, 50, 60
bucks. I downloaded Roller Coaster Tycoon and haven't even played it yet.
Yeah, I know. I've got a huge list of Epic games I haven't even touched.
Yeah, I have way too many games on my Epic account, and I have one that I got for review, and everything else has just been freebies.
2? I think I got 2 I got for review, because I did Atomic Crops on there, too. But I did straight up buy Ooblets, just to be supportive.
Wow. Yeah,
I did, because I had reviewed it on the Xbox, so I bought it on Epic, just to be... Because when you love a game...
That's why
the people who made it money.
That's why I buy all the pinball tables in Pinball FX3 when they come out.
Oh, well, thank you for the support.
I will always support Zen. You guys are awesome supporters of our show. I can't thank you enough for coming on and being a part of our show as frequently and as often as you do. I don't know why you do it, but thank you.
You asked nicely.
That's all it takes? God damn. What's wrong with me?
Start putting more F words in those emails and see what happens.
Dear fuckers, would you like to come on our show? He's very assertive. Yes, we will. Oh, man. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with more show in a little bit. Everyone stick around. Going to listen to some music. Chris, do you have any final words to wrap this up?
No, I think I've said a lot already. So just follow the Zen Studios, at Zen Studios on Twitter with an underscore in between Zen and Studios. Oh, Zen Indies is actually Zen Indies, one word, is our non-pinball account. So that's CastleStorm, Operencia, Dreadnautical, etc.
Nice.
Which is most of the stuff I personally work on. So those are on Twitter, and then just look up Zen Studios on Facebook if that's more your thing. We're out there. I'm CBig76 on Twitter. I'm pretty active there, so feel free to say hi sometime.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for sticking around. Another thanks to, let me check my notes here, Chris Baker of Zen Studios for joining us on this episode, which was recorded perfectly in sequence.
Yeah, there was,
there was not a week delay.
None of that at all. Everything is flawless. One take. We never fuck up. That's not true on the second part, but it is mostly true on the first because we don't have the fucking gumption to edit anything.
Yeah, I don't have the patience. I just fuck that. But yeah, thanks to Chris coming on, chatting with us. I always love having Chris on. He's a good dude.
Yes. Yes, he is.
CastleStorm II is available now. You could check that out, pick that up, give that a go. And I saw Pinball FX3 got an update today, so I don't know if we might see new tables coming soon, or I don't know if it's just a random update. I don't know what it is, but it's got me wondering. Yeah. Just like the news of the week has got me wondering.
That was a little bit ham-fisted. Little, but I'll let it ride. I guess the top story that we can go with has me wondering for sure. GameStop has announced a multi-year partnership with Microsoft. We have to clarify, this is not a partnership with Xbox. It is a partnership with Microsoft, in that GameStop is going to start using like Office 365, and they're going to have Surface tablets and shit like that. I don't think we're going to see any huge difference in the way that the stores are laid out or anything. Maybe Xbox might get pushed to the front a little bit more. Yeah.
But
yeah, it certainly seemed like it was more of just like Microsoft is going to provide them shit.
Yeah.
Than much else.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are losing their shit like, oh my God, GameStop is partnering up with Xbox. This is going to change the world. No,
it's not.
No, this is just a business partnership. That is.
They're just going to have Surface tablets instead of iPads.
Yeah,
that's
pretty
about
much.
The long and short of it.
Who knows? Maybe they will change the store layouts and it'll be more like the Microsoft stores used to. Maybe that's why they shut down the Microsoft stores.
No.
Because they closed down all the Microsoft stores. Maybe this partnership with GameStop, this is going to be their, I don't know, their second foray into retail. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Sometimes you don't need brick and mortar stores are kind of falling apart everywhere. So It doesn't really matter if they have a brick and mortar storefront. I don't understand the allure of the Apple, iPod, whatever they're called. Fuck, I couldn't spit it out to save myself there. And then I just decided to roll with it. I was like, I'll hit something eventually.
Yeah.
The Apple shit, like, I don't understand the allure of that shit. I don't want to be around a bunch of people looking at pretentious looking phones. If I'm going to order something pretentious, I'll do it from the comfort of my couch in my pajamas. Thank you very much.
No, that's why for all my pretentious iPhone accessories, I just go to the Verizon store. I don't think I've ever been to an actual Apple store.
I wouldn't even know where one was.
I've been to a Sony store, like the Sony experience in New York City.
Oh.
That was pretty cool.
I didn't know that was a thing either.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It was fun.
Oh, for the love of all that fucks on Sundays.
What?
Phone's ringing. Give me a second.
Phone's ringing. Sweet. We're keeping this. Don't mute yourself. Oh, she muted. That's a bummer. So I might as well move on. A little bit more news. Cyberpunk 2077 has gone gold and will be releasing on November 19th. So a week after the new consoles roll out, Cyberpunk is on schedule and will be coming out as planned. That is good to hear. Right, Cole? Yeah, I know. Totally. I agree with you 100%. I should just do the whole show like this, just by myself. I'll just talk to myself. That would be the worst episode imaginable. And I have no idea how I would just go for God knows how long. This is a nightmare. Nightmare come true. Paul, come back and save me. Cyberpunk is out of stock on Amazon.ca. So the Canadian Amazon is out of the Cyberpunks. I'm looking forward to picking it up. I'm going through Best Buy to get it. They're going to have their $10 reward certificate and a steelbook at Best Buy. So I'm going to go there and pick it up that way.
You having a good time?
Yeah, I'm having a blast.
Great.
I was talking about Cyberpunk. It went gold. Did you hear that?
It did, yes.
Yeah. And Cyberpunk is sold out on Amazon Canada.
Oy.
The PS4 version.
David is wanting it. I haven't decided if I'm going to pony up for it full price or if I'm going to make him wait till it goes on sale.
We'll you want it?
I don't know. I tend to wait until I've either seen somebody else play something when it comes to a full price game like that. And I'm just kind of very on the fence about it. No. I'm not overwhelmingly attracted to it. Not something I would probably pick up in a rush. But that doesn't mean that I don't watch a stream or two and be like, holy shit, why didn't I buy this already?
No.
It's perfectly something I could have. He's sold on it. He's on that hype train. He's been full speed ahead into the side of a hill on that hype train. God, for the love of
really? Again?
Yeah, hold on.
Oh my God, this is absolutely fantastic. I'm just going to wait. So, truncate, silence, do your thing, and make believe that none of this is happening. Please. End the suffering. You don't go to stores. I try not to go to stores as much as I can, but it's a necessity for us anymore with food and cat supplies and cat litter and cat treats and
going to the store?
Yeah.
Man, I order fucking everything off Amazon. At this point, the UPS dude is here every day. And he didn't do a delivery yesterday, and he did one today, and he was like, I was worried about you. I was like, no, I just had everything I needed for 24 hours.
But yeah, if we go anywhere, masks are on the entire time. I cannot stand when we're someplace and someone doesn't have a mask. How inconsiderate do you have to be to not wear a mask in public? How fucking hard is it to wear a mask?
Number one had to leave the house today to go to the doctor's office, which is even scarier, right? Because somebody with COVID has been in that office. And so that's terrifying. But she was, she's had an injury in her wrist for a couple days. It's really bothered her. And I finally broke down. I was like, you're going to have to go get it checked out. So she had to go to the hospital, get x-rays. She's got a steroid injection, trying to figure out what the fuck's going on with her wrist. And, but it was the whole time, it was like, I swear to God, if you touch a door, you better use hand sanitizer. I was like, they don't have doors with knobs on them at the doctor's office. They have push doors. I was like, push it with your ass.
Yeah.
The good Lord gave you thick thighs. Use them. So she was like, I got it. Touch nothing.
Oh, God.
And then the moment they come through the door, I'm like, wash your hands.
You know what else the good Lord gave us?
What's that?
Minecraft Steve coming to Smash Brothers. And we found out that that's going to be happening October 13th. So it's right around the corner.
That is sooner than I was expecting.
Yeah. There's also going to be new Mii outfits on the 13th for Bomberman, Reaper Pig, Diamond Armor, Gil. I don't know who Gil is from. It was just Gil. And then Travis Touchdown, which I thought was pretty cool.
I'm not going to Google it. I don't have that many fucks to give.
What, Gil?
Never mind. I was like, if I type that in, I'm going to get the most random shit ever. So
yeah, just type GIL. That'll solve everything.
I could have swore that the Telltale Minecraft game had a character named Gil.
Oh, it might be.
That's where my brain went. But I didn't play them. My kids did.
Yeah. It's very possible. I don't know. They also announced new amiibo are going to be coming in 2021 with Terry Bogard, Byleth from Fire Emblem, and goddamn Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
We're gonna have an amiibo for Banjo-Kazooie, which will be on my shelf because I just got Dragon Quest Hero and Joker this week. I got those two in. Yeah.
Stack them up on your shelves.
Rupert's saying the Pikmin 3 demo has been released, so that is cool.
I was right, by the way. There is a Gil from Minecraft Story Mode.
It might be that one. The Gil I have written down is just one L, so I don't know. Oh. Maybe I wrote it wrong. It's very possible.
Maybe
I'm very stupid.
I'm blaming you.
I am a very stupid person. Also very stupid is the fact that Call of Duty Modern Warfare on PC will no longer fit on a standard 250 gig solid state drive.
Well,
yeah.
That is what it is.
Call of Duty, you need to shrink your goddamn file size a little bit.
They really need some optimization.
So do you still think 1 terabyte is good enough for new consoles?
Mm-hmm.
How about 820 something for the PS5? Or how about 512 for the Series S? That is ridiculous.
Hold up, though. Back up, because you keep ragging on Xbox, but they said that the PlayStation's only going to have like some 800 gig too.
I literally just said the 820 something of the PS5.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
I literally just said those words.
Look, you started ragging on the Xbox size, and my brain and Matt immediately was like, lock onto this and care about nothing else.
I will gladly tear down Sony for having their tiny ass hard drives as well. Although apparently you could just put in standard NVMe drive.
Okay, there's a hitch here with this. If we're gonna go ahead and talk on this.
Go ahead, because you know this shit more than I do. You know the hardware stuff more than I do. I just play video game.
So I will give them credit for just making it to where any standard NVMe will fit. I'm not going to bitch at them for that. But the route you have to take to get into your PlayStation to add that is fucking stupid.
Well, it's just the panels come off this time, isn't it?
No, there's like 3 different sets of panels you have to take off.
Oh, Lord.
To get down into the NVMe. That's obscene.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's no good. I can open I got 1 panel to remove to get to my NVMe in my computer. Why is there a layer system to get to the one inside the PlayStation?
Because Sony has to make shit complicated.
And now I can't remember if it was or not, but it looked to me like when he got down to the NVMe slot, that he had to take off a warranty sticker first. And I can't remember if it was before or after he hit the warranty, the sticker. But either way, it's still too many damn layers.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you one thing. Those plastic clips on that case, one good yank the wrong way, and those are done for. That's not solid. Okay?
Can you imagine what's going to happen the first time someone has one of their memory cards in an Xbox Series X and it falls over? Could you imagine that thing snapping off in the system?
I'm holding out hope that there's still going to be a way to I've talked about before how I rigged a normal hard drive to work in my 360, and I'm banking on that to be an option.
I doubt it.
My series. It seems to me if the little port is the same, and obviously it has to be, right? You don't have to screw down that other end. If it clicks in, it clicks in. I feel though the Xbox is clearly going to be a sturdier. It's going to take some oomph to knock it over. They knew that.
Oh yeah, the PS5, you're going to breathe on it wrong, and that's going to fall over.
I don't think that's the problem of it falling over. My opinion, maybe it really looks weirdly balanced, but I just those,
especially the one clips. With the disk drive looks weirdly balanced.
That is true. It seems very top heavy now that you mention it. I really hadn't given it that much thought. I'm more concerned somebody's going to click that bitch and it's just going to pop, 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 and it's gone. Done for. And you're out $500 because now you got a skeleton of a system there. Although maybe it will look better without the wings. Who knows?
Maybe I'll just strip all the panels off mine and have a raw box sitting on the.
That would be fantastic for airflow, but shit for airflow because you got too many cats.
Yes.
That's a lot of cat hair to get up in there.
That would be a lot of cat hair. Although apparently
I know.
there's a dust panel for the PS5 now, a little hub where all the dust is going. Someone was saying. I didn't watch the teardown, so I missed out on the details.
I don't remember the dust panel.
And little dust trap supposedly they have. I don't know.
I have dust traps on both of the PCs over top of the top facing fans. And let me tell you something. I only have 3 cats, and I have to clean those motherfuckers twice a day. All right?
Damn.
If you have to pop open that PlayStation to clean out those dust traps and you got pets, that's gonna suck. Hi!
Meow on cue.
Are you talking about me?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of PlayStation, some new additions for PlayStation Now in October. Days Gone is going to be there until January 5th. Medieval is being added Friday the 13th. Trine 4, The Nightmare Prince. And I laughed at this one. Rad from Double Fine.
Oh.
I mean, it's published by Namco, but still, the fact that Double Fine's involved, I'm sure Microsoft had to sign off somewhere.
Yeah. That is funny at the end of the day.
No. I was amused when I saw that one joining PS Now. So hopefully everything except Days Gone sticks around for a while. And then Days Gone is going to be part of the PlayStation Plus collection on PS5 whenever that comes out. I'm sure it's going to... I don't know. Is that supposed to be launch with the PS5, the PlayStation Plus collection?
It is supposed to, I think so.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that was launch or not.
Oh, congratulations, you bought a PlayStation. Here's your existing collection of amazing games that you may have missed out.
18 games.
It seems to me it's very much supposed to be a collection of games that you may have missed out on if you didn't get a PlayStation 4, rather than like anything to lure in newcomers to the system.
Yeah.
Although I still find it really weird that Horizon Zero Dawn is not part of it.
I don't know. Maybe they're going to make a remaster.
I hope they do a better job than they did porting it to PC.
When it came out, you had nothing but praise for it.
No, that's not 100% true. As much as I enjoy it, it was a shit port. And it has been a shit port. It's gotten moderately better. But it was a bad port. And I was very adamant about that. Because you should not have 60 frames per second animations and 30 frames per second facial animations. It was so uncanny and weird. It was just not good.
That's a weird choice.
I had a lot of issues with stuttering and frame drops, and there wasn't any reason for me to have those kind of issues out of it. Root Beer says you need a top of the line rig to run it, but mine is no slouch.
No.
I mean, I have a PC that was built, a custom build in March it was like $1,500 all said and done. I'm not running a slouch, system, and it should have been able to have done it fine.
Oh, yeah, it's known that it was a bad port. Like everyone commented that it was just...
Digital Foundry has they were running top of the line systems, and they were like, no. So
I might have to hope for a remaster though, because I no longer have a PS4. I sold mine. Yeah. I figure with the PS5 coming out, we're talking, I have to get one eventually for the show.
Mm-hmm.
So we figured we would sell the PS4. I got like $350 for it, which isn't bad considering it's a used one.
Fair.
And the top is fairly scuffed because we have, a dozen cats. A baker's dozen. What am I going to fry my eggs on? Haha. But yeah, I sold the PS4 and that's off in the mail and I should be getting paid for it next week. And that money's going to go to the Series X. and then if we find a PS5 in the wild, we're going to just do what we can.
We have just been carefully plugging away money into the savings account. And when the Series X launches, David's just going to go stand in line for me. Hope for the best. And he said it'd been a while since he got to go do a launch like that, and he figured why not.
No.
And
that's why I camped in line at GameStop for an hour and a half.
Yeah, most likely choice for getting it. And here, every time there's been a launch for something like that, like he can go 15 minutes before they open and he gets one. The people here aren't big gamers or don't have the budget for it. So it's like, well, that was easy enough.
No.
If only there was somewhere I could go to get my computer parts like that. That would be great. Those are the ones I'm having trouble getting updates for.
Speaking of updates, did you hear what game is getting a remaster?
No?
Need for Speed Hot Pursuit.
I did see this. I did. And I was like, why?
I know. That's my... like, of all the games, I mean, at least it's a solid game. It's made by Criterion, so it's a solid Need for Speed game. It's probably one of the last Need for Speed games I really enjoyed. Why?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
It's coming November 6th to Xbox and PS4 for $40, PC for $30, and then the 13th to the Switch, I think, for $40 as well. Doc Havoc, you know what game needs an HD remaster? Pong. You know what? There's a game called Pong Quest. And it's a fucking Pong RPG. So you can get your Pong in HD. I don't think it's 4K, but it might be. I don't know. I'd have to check the store. Speaking of checking the store, some new DLC on the way for Mortal Kombat. Did you see this?
I did see something about it. I didn't get to see the video.
3 new characters are coming. $15 for the pack. Not bad. $5 a character. It's going to include Melina, who everyone has been waiting for, who was COVID ready with her mask. Rain. And then Rambo.
Okay.
Fucking Rambo.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone Rambo.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
There seems to be quite a bit of excitement about this. I'm very
confused. I mean, it's cool. I'm still wishing it were Ash Williams. He's been rumored for how long?
Yeah, with Mortal Kombat, they've been on a roll. Like, I believe the previous DLC had the Terminator and
Joker,
and RoboCop. So, I mean, this is kind of just where they are now, and I'm okay with it. I don't like when they go adding in these kind of characters, but there are a lot of people who get excited and lose their shit. I know they did. I did see where with the Terminator, they just like licensed Arnold Schwarzenegger's likeness, but had a voice imposter.
Yeah, they actually have Stallone. Either they have him or they have clips from the movies that they're going to use. But they confirmed it is Stallone's voice that's being is used. Fuck that. I can't talk. I'm not even going to finish that sentence. Fuck it. You know what? That's how I feel. That's how I feel.
This is kind of an ass thing. I always... You want to know my take on it?
Sure.
Here's my hot take. The characters that NetherRealm come up with and the story surrounding them are far more interesting than the stories and universes of the characters they try to ham-fist in for cross... what's the word I'm looking for?
Cross promotion?
Yeah, there you go. That's my hot take.
Yeah.
Let NetherRealm folks do their thing because they do a good enough job on their own.
Yeah, well, that's why they had the big story. What was Annihilation DLC? Was it Annihilation? Was it or no Afterlife? What the fuck was it?
I don't even remember. I can't remember. I haven't even played the big Mortal
story
Kombat.
DLC that they had.
Yeah,
they did that, so I can understand them wanting to add a few more characters and have fun with it. Yeah, the Shang Tsung content. I forget what it was named. Afterlife, I think, or I don't know. I'm dumb. Outriders from People Can Fly and Square Enix got a release date of February 2nd on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. Stadia later in the spring because, haha, Stadia. Fucking Stadia.
Wait, what game were we talking about?
Outriders from People Can Fly, the Bulletstorm folks.
Oh.
Their new game.
I don't even fucking remember this game exists.
Yeah, you should look it up. It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always wanted to play Bulletstorm and never did.
You should.
It's definitely my jam. I don't know why I never full on picked it up though. Okay, Outriders. I remember Outriders now.
Yeah.
Oh boy, it's Square Enix.
Yeah. But it is coming to Xbox, so.
Okay. Kudos.
Yeah, that's the news I got. Anything you want to talk about, or should we just move on to reviews?
Xbox Fan Fest is going digital this year.
Really?
Normally, Xbox Fan Fest is a part of E3. And because of human malware, we couldn't have Xbox Fan Fest this year. Now, if you're not familiar with Xbox Fan Fest, basically it's a ticket system, but it's like a lottery for the tickets. So you have to like sign up, say, yes, I'd like a ticket. And then they say, okay, you have a chance to buy a ticket, or no, you don't. Sorry, there's too many other people. Which happens. So then if they say you can have a ticket, then you have to go and pay the obscene price for a ticket. Now, the plus side of this is that once you're there and you have to actually travel to E3 and all this, and have, lodging and housing, whatever, all that while you're there, you got to feed yourself. Yeah. It's a whole shebang. But out of that, you get some really cool ass swag. You get to meet with all the top Xbox guys, and you get to go to special events that are, pretty hush hush. And couldn't tell you what happens in them because the whole idea of something that requires traveling to E3 is just not going to happen for me.
Same.
But I would love to participate in FanFest just once. I know deep down I will never get to because I would need wheels at that point.
No.
But this year they couldn't do that, obviously. So it's going to be free online to an extent. There will be some events that you will need a ticket for, and some of those tickets may need to be paid for. But a majority of the events are going to be free and online, and they're going to go on out with, doing sweepstakes and swag giveaways and all that good stuff. For once, as an Xbox fan who is stuck in a chair in front of her computer, I'm going to actually get to participate in FanFest. And I find that pretty fucking cool. And I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I didn't even know they were doing it.
Yeah. So they announced it just maybe about 20 minutes or so before we went live. That it was going to be all digital, and it was going to be a whole big thing. And that they would be, if you're listening to the show after it goes up on YouTube, then the information's probably already out there. But for those of us listening to us live, there's going to be more info tomorrow.
Cool.
Yeah.
Roop, you're saying that they want to go to MagFest at least once. Yeah, I do too, because I don't know if it'll ever be back because of COVID.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah, Mag 2021 is officially scrapped, which hurts my soul. It'll be the first year I ever miss MagFest.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't exist.
I mean, if you're going to miss it, that's a good reason why.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, me and Ian, both of us, our first one we're missing. Yeah, he says technically speaking, you can't miss an event that's not happening. It'll just be weird having a year without it.
Yeah. That means we won't get any time off after Christmas.
Maybe we'll still take time off. I like the holiday breaks.
Yeah.
They are nice to have. But yeah, you ready to just dive into reviews now?
Yeah, fuck it, I guess.
All right, well, it's review time, so let's start off with Jacob Garner coming in. Jacob, how are you doing?
I was fine up until Cole had to ruin, pretty much everything.
Yeah.
I mean, some of us have one job in life, and I'm just here to say that I'm really good at mine.
Yeah, that is it.
Which is ruining your shit.
Uh-huh.
I can't fault you on that. You are rather effective and, efficient, I should say.
Also effective and efficient are our reviews.
No, they're not.
Why are you lying?
Yeah, our reviews are never effective or efficient.
No, not at all.
They run way too long.
Yeah, they do. So we're going to start off with Nickelodeon Kart Racers 2 Grand Prix, developed by Bamtang Games, published by Game Mill Entertainment, released October 6th on Xbox One, Switch, PS4, and PC for $39.99. Nickelodeon Kart Racers is back, and we're kicking it into overdrive. Nick Kart Racers 2 Grand Prix. You can select from 30 playable racers, 70 team members to assemble your ultimate pit crew. Choose your favorites from Nickelodeon's Hall of Fame, including JoJo Siwa, SpongeBob SquarePants, the Ninja Turtles, the babies from Rugrats, the kids from Hey Arnold, Ren and Stimpy, and many more. Jacob, tell us about Nickelodeon Kart Racers 2 Grand Prix.
Well, I mean, that was a pretty darn good rundown right there. I didn't get to play the first one.
The first one was abysmal.
It was.
Yeah.
And now it sounds like this one has all the characters that I wish the first one had. and now I'm just sad about it.
I'll get this out of the way. This game is a massive, massive, massive improvement over the first game, and it actually feels like they tried and cared this time.
Can I just say that if the game makes Cole sad, that pretty much just bumps it to a buy it for me.
Well, I'm sad because I played the first one, and the first one was ass.
It really
and that's
doesn't
why
matter.
I didn't take this one.
I mean, pretty much, I'm always down for things that make you sad. So you know.
Yeah.
So, tell us about the game.
Right. So, pretty much, I mean, it's a kart racing game in the vein of Mario Kart, and subsequent knockoffs, starring Nickelodeon characters. Which, of course, this is actually not the first time. I mean, we've seen them on Game Boy Advance, way back in the day, and so this is just the latest iteration of that kind of stuff. With that, you get to choose from a huge. Let me just preface this. I misunderstood when I was first playing this because I thought this was just going to be Nicktoons characters, and it's not. It encompasses all of Nickelodeon, and so you do get characters in there like the JoJo Siwa, who I have very limited knowledge of who she actually is.
Yeah. But she's popular with the kids, I guess.
With the youths.
With the youths of America.
And so with that, you do get a couple of characters like her thrown in. Also ones like the Ninja Turtles, which, I had kind of forgotten that Nickelodeon technically owns them now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they were most of the first game.
I didn't play the first game, so
no.
I don't. Yeah. But it does delve deep into Nickelodeon history. I mean, you do get classic Nicktoons characters like Ren and Stimpy. You get characters from Rocko's Modern Life, Rugrats, that kind of stuff. So it does have a nice variety throughout. And with that, you have to assemble your team. You have a driver. You have one or two pit crew members who give you special power-ups that you're able to use through the race, or different abilities, I should say. One of them could be it turns the toy ball weapon into an automatic football, which, if you're playing Mario Kart, that would be it turns green shells into red shells or blue shells.
I use the one ability. I don't know how early other people get this. I don't know if it's random, the order that you get them, but there was one I got early on where every time you recover from a wreck, you get a speed boost. And that is so incredibly useful.
Yeah, that's actually, I'll get to that part later. My early frustrations with the game. Because how you unlock stuff is all dependent on what you decide to do within the game. Because when you unlock stuff, it's not just as simple as you completed a race, here, unlock something. It's have you done this challenge? Oh, well, if you did this challenge, then you get X character, or you have to play X Grand Prix. And once you do that, once you complete the Grand Prix, it unlocks characters like A, B, and C. So there's drivers, there's the pit crew thing, and then there's the manager who gives you this overall power up, which, is generally helpful.
Power ups usually are. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but there were some people or there were some characters that I was just oh, this is a waste. I'm never going to use this. I get why the power up's there, but yeah, once you figured out, once you fine tuned your crew, pretty much it was, I mean, as you said, that one character that was every single time you get hit, you get a speed boost. That one, and the one that turns the green balls or the toy balls into the footballs. Once I got those two, I was just I'm keeping these guys for the rest of the game. And I was pretty successful with that. You can also customize your cart for different areas like speed, how well you can drift, handling, all that kind of stuff. and you get these unlocks by earning points throughout your different races and stuff like that, and then spending the points in the garage. So it's like you can customize the wheels, the engine, and the paint job. Paint job doesn't do anything. It just looks nice. So mine always looked like the turtle van.
Oh, you used the Ninja Turtle too?
Yeah.
Which one?
Why wouldn't you? It was actually like the van.
No, which turtle did you use? Which of the
no,
4 Ninja Turtles did you use, you moron?
No.
Did you play this game?
Yes, I did. No, I never used the Ninja Turtles for any of that kind of stuff. No, I was talking about
used their van?
Yeah, I used the paint job. Yeah,
I thought you used the actual Ninja Turtle. Like I used.
No. I raced with Aang from the last Avatar: The Last Airbender, which was also a nice inclusion as well, because I also kind of forget that he technically counts as a Nicktoons. Like, the Avatar: The Last Airbender counts as a Nicktoon. Yeah. Even though like that doesn't fit, what I think of as a Nicktoon. Like I always think of like the comedy shows and stuff like that. So like that kind of inclusion as well is really nice for this game. So there's races which are standard. Like the levels are fine. Like a lot of them show a lot of imagination. If anything, they're just really pretty to look at as you're driving through them. Like the layouts themselves, if you've played other kart racing games, like you already know what you're ahead. Like you already know what to expect. Like it's nothing revolutionary, but the visuals are nice for them.
Yeah, and they get the job done. They serve their purpose. The tracks are there. I think it's more about the set design than the actual track layout in these games, because you're all about looking for those little Easter eggs and little tidbits in the background that you might not be noticing normally.
Right. And so you can do single race or Grand Prix. Grand Prix is randomized. Like, I don't want to say it's randomized, but it chooses one level out of like 4 different areas, and you get 1 level per area with it. And then there's also an arena battle mode, which honestly I had more fun with the arena mode than I did with the regular normal game. My only complaint is that the arena battle levels are a little too big for their own good, but honestly, I had more of a blast with them than the actual races themselves.
I enjoyed the racing of the game. I thought it's overall a fairly competent kart racer. It does what it needs to do. I'm not sure what you were talking about the randomized, because the Grand Prix, it's just there's 6 or 8 different Grand Prix, and each one has 4 courses.
Well, right. I mean, it's like they don't like when I meant randomized, I don't meant like it's, like, oh, well, we're going to shuffle them around and stuff like that. It's more so like random as in like they have like really nothing to do with each other.
Oh, yeah. It's
like,
just a medley of themes. I thought you meant that they actually randomized the tracks and had to clarify on that.
Yeah.
And then the challenge mode, which just gives you different. I had fun with the challenge mode, but I can agree. One of your gripes was that some of the challenges can get a bit too hard. And I think later on in the challenges it definitely, you got to know what you're doing in some of these later challenges.
Yeah, Joe and I were messaging each other back and forth when we were first playing this game, and at first I was incredibly mad at some of these challenges, and I'm just like, dude, like they just, these things are way too hard for their own good, like especially the target audience for this game. Like, I'm failing at it. Like, how is like some 10-year-old supposed to? And this was early on, and like I realized I was playing this when I was tired. And so like the next day I had gotten like 8 hours of sleep, and I went back to play it, and I nailed both of the courses I was having issues with on the first run.
Proud of you.
So be warned, that is a possibility. Also, I mean, with the challenges, one of the other things is if something's stumping you, go back, play a bunch of Grand Prix, unlock more characters, more stuff in the garage, try the challenges again as you fine tune what you need to be doing. Like that level with Ren, like I just couldn't for the life of me get past of it. And then I turned on, the team I was telling you about, the one that gives you a speed boost after you get hit, and the one that turns the toy balls into footballs. And after that, boom, nailed it on the first run. Now, some of the challenges do require you to remember how you played previous laps, like the JoJo Siwa one that I was having an issue with. Like, stuff doesn't respawn like it normally would on a track, and so you have to remember which route you took last time and what you hit. That way, as you're going through the lap or the next lap, you're not repeating everything and you're still picking up what you need to, which, I mean, yeah, it's a challenge. But again, for kids, I think that was a little bit much. I don't know. But yeah. And for all I know, maybe it's something that, the point of it is like for the kids to go to their parents and be like, hey, can you beat this? And then it becomes like, a nice little family thing as, mom and dad show their chops with, kart racing games. So,
well, overall, $40 on this one. What are you thinking of it?
I'm a little bit of a cheapskate, so $40, is a bit steep for me for it. But honestly, I thought it was a quality title. And if you're looking for a good kart game, and also if you're looking for something that features, the Nickelodeon characters, it's a solid licensed kart game title. So I'm not thrilled with the price, but for $40, for the quality of the game that you're getting, I'd say yes.
Yeah, I can agree with that. $30 would have been a nicer price tag, but $40 is the common budget price these days. Game prices are going up, so I'm not too horribly offended by a $40 price tag. And like I said, this is light years ahead of the first game. If they keep this up and they keep working on it, and this becomes like I don't want to say yearly, but every other year maybe franchise. Mm-hmm. As long as they keep working on it and keep improving with what's there, I could see this series being really good. I think it's a solid kart racer, and at $40, I give it a recommend to try it.
Yeah.
Cole, any thoughts? Any questions?
You're making me unmute my mic. No.
I'm trying to keep you involved in the show so that people remember you're here.
Who am I again? I'm just bummed out that it had actual good characters in this one. And I missed the good characters.
Well, maybe Kart Racers 3 will get you back on the job.
Maybe.
Nah, I
why should it come out and have... What the fuck characters are even on Nickelodeon now?
I don't know.
Would it be like Fred or some
days.
Shit? That
SpongeBob's still on there.
Annoying. Yeah. SpongeBob is awful.
I mean, that JoJo Siwa person probably is. I know they've got Ninja Turtles. They're supposed Netflix is supposed to be making like Avatar: The Last Airbender live action show.
Boy, that's gonna go awful.
Crud, I forget what. I don't know. My kids aren't old enough to be watching like Nicktoons and stuff like that. So like they're still watching Nick Jr. stuff. So I don't know. Like unless it's gonna delve into like Bubble Guppies or Blaze and the Monster Machines. Like I don't know. Or Paw
I took a game called Octonauts once, thinking it was the Octonauts characters from the Nickelodeon show, Nick Jr. show, and it wasn't, and I was so let down.
Oh man, I actually sympathize with you on that. Like that show is amazing. I love it. I especially love like the little hamster that has an eye patch because it doesn't tell you what made him have that eye patch, and I'm just like, I need to know because there are flashbacks, and he has both eyes. And I'm just like, come on, guy. You got to tell me.
We're getting really off course here.
Yeah.
That's standard.
Yeah, just a little. Next game to talk about is called Ben 10 Power Trip, developed by PHL Collective, published by Outright Games. Released October 9th on Xbox One, Switch, PS4, and PC for $39.99. Ben Tennyson and his family are all set for a relaxing European vacation until evil Hex awakens 4 mysterious crystals and summons monstrous visitors from the void. Now it's up to you to help Ben stop the master magician's extremely fiendish plans. Get it? Hextremely. You see what they did there?
I'm leaving this podcast.
Jacob, tell us about Ben 10 Power Trip.
So this one actually kind of surprised me because I was expecting like a simple like side scroller or like some, I don't know, just run of the mill crap budget title that was like, oh, well, we just slapped like the licensing on it. It's a full blown like open world action RPG, which I was a tad surprised about. And so you're running around as Ben 10. Or Ben Tennyson. I never got into the show, so I have no idea. Shows, I should say. So I have no idea in that regard.
Really, I would have pegged you as a Ben 10 guy.
It came out like at a time where I just wasn't watching that kind of crap. Most of my Cartoon Network exposure at that point was just Adult Swim stuff. So yeah, I really have no idea about it. So anyways, so the first guy you unlock is this guy with firepower, with, you can set stuff on fire, like Human Torch. There's story that leads to why you have to unlock characters. You should kind of give us that info. Yeah, so there is a story behind it, like, which honestly, I don't follow Ben 10, so it was just like, oh, well, I've lost all my guys, so I have to go get them back one at a time. And so the first guy you get back is your fire guy, which lets you do all these different missions and stuff like that. And you're running around helping people in this town while you're also beating up these random aliens that, have shown up in the forests and stuff like that. And you have to, progress the story. Like, you go on quests. Like, you have to go, Farmer Jim Bob, up in like some region of France or something like that, he's entering a lumberjack competition. So, you have to go up to his farm and like throw like 15 bales of hay, and like you have to scare all these monsters that are stuck in his barn. And then I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that, the plot is very thin. It didn't really make sense. So you run around and you do these quests, and eventually, like, as you complete these quests, you have to go off and do other stuff, which then leads to this void world, which helps you, get from point A to point B, but you're also like, unlocking new, like, you're getting back some of your powers. So like, you'll eventually get your fire guy, you'll get your speed guy, you'll get your like strong guy, stuff like that. And it's just like, it is not the most exciting of open world games. I mean, there's plenty of area to traverse, but it's not exactly the most fun. And I always felt like fast travel was like, I could never figure out where like your uncle's camper was actually located to help fast traveling happen.
Yeah, the location of the fast travels felt kind of pointless to me. Like, there were so many times I would just travel across the map on my scooter instead of using the fast travel.
The scooter. Oh, shoot. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
You're a moron.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm a moron. Okay, so Ben Tennyson has the scooter that he can run around. I thought it was only for like side missions because you have to like deliver pizzas and like, help old grannies get their stuff. And I thought it was only for that. And so I never really put two and two together that you were supposed to use the scooter to get across. I just kept using the fire guy.
Yeah, the fire guy's pretty quick.
All right, so yeah, and the fire, like, but the thing is, it's still slow as hell. Like, and it just becomes like, oh, well, this thing is like 2 kilometers away, and you have to run as the fire guy and like figure out like your route and stuff like that. And I'll be honest, after a while, it stops being fun, and it's just like, fast travel's pointless. Like, I hate having to go from point A to point B. Like, this is taking way too damn long. And like, the guy who's all about speed is your third unlock guy. And I'm just like, dude, why could this have not been the first guy you unlock? Like, holy crap, that would have been such a massive improvement for this game.
Or using your scooter.
Shut up, Joe. So it's just like, but like, at the same time, this could be like some kid's very, very first open world RPG. And yeah, so, like, I understand
a good beginner entry level open world action adventure. I don't know if I would say RPG necessarily, because you don't really get like swords or anything.
Well, yeah, but it's still like, I don't know. Like,
there's
you
RPG
assume different
elements.
powers and stuff. Yeah, like that's why I said action RPG.
Yeah. Baby's first Amalur.
Right. Like, and of course, it's going to lead to this kind of stuff if the kid likes that kind of likes this kind of video game. But it's just like getting from point A to point B, like and collecting coins along the way and beating up random, aliens. It's just like it feels very bland for an adult. I mean, as a kid, I don't know if I would have found this game to be particularly fun. But I mean, it's just like you could tell that like they're at least definitely trying. And at least slowly introducing like the different powers and stuff like that, so as not to overwhelm the game player. So I can appreciate that. The missions, it kind of like I get what they're doing with it, but at the same time, it still drove me nuts that it's just like, oh, well, you're on this mission and you're only allowed to be focused on that mission.
Yeah,
otherwise
you would want to do a side
it.
quest, and it's like, you're already doing something right now. You can't. It's like, no, I can do two things at once, game. Let me take every quest that's available to me and just do them like I want to.
Or it's just like it just wasn't even like that, but it's just like that, oh crud. The guy who looks like a ripoff of Daft Punk. Like those like little venues that you have to keep closing. I forget what the heck his name is. Like Remixer or Reverb or some crap like
Something
that.
like that.
Yeah, if you're doing a quest, you can't go in and take care of that. And it's just like, so you're going to expect me to remember where the heck this thing is under a waterfall when this game's got like 15 different waterfalls, like under Pumpkin Patch, all this other kind of stuff. You're going to expect me to remember where the heck this thing is located?
No, that's why you buy the item maps.
Yeah, which of course you have to do that too. And so there is like a level of grinding, which is nice because then you can make the kids suffer through, what they would have to do in a normal RPG.
Yeah, the grind is real in this game. I put like all my points into luck so I could get more money, and it is just so slow going getting money to buy the maps in this game. Like, I haven't spent anything on any of the power or energy bars or anything like that.
Which honestly I thought were useless.
They are useless, and I hate the fact that you clear some of the void areas and instead of getting a level up point, it just gives you a fucking candy bar.
Yeah.
Like that.
Which then if you eat that while you're getting your ass kicked during a fight, like you better hop away quick for a bit because that thing is not going to save you.
Yeah.
I invested most of my points into health and strength, and even then, some of these areas were still like a little too like overpowered. So I could see kids getting frustrated with it, but it's just like honestly, the game's biggest fault is like getting from point A to point B.
Yeah, if they would have changed the fast travel system so you could fast travel at any time to one of those locations, that would be different than having to go to a location to travel to a location.
Yeah.
Like it's just tiny little quality of life improvements. Overall, I really enjoyed the game personally. I thought it was a really solid entry level kind of action RPG. It shows that they cared about the IP. It wasn't just another level based find 4 collectibles, kill the final boss, move on to the next level kind of thing. Like it's a true large, impressively large for a kid's game open world with a decent amount of collectibles and secrets to track down and find. And for $40, what do you think of it?
For something like that, I would honestly say you're either going to need to be like a big fan of Ben. All right, let me redo that. So
I'm not editing.
I'm not asking you to edit. So if you're an adult, you either need to be a really big Ben 10 fan, or you just like because that's actually really the only way that I could see like an adult being like, hell yeah, this is great.
Yeah, this is for the younger crowd for sure.
Right.
This isn't for us.
Kids, like, this is probably a pretty good introduction to, open world action RPGs. So if they like Ben 10, that's just the bonus. But, it's pretty solid in that regard. I mean, personally, would I have bought this for myself? No. For my kids, probably. So I would definitely say if you've got kids, get it for them. But if you are just like some single dude, living by yourself, there are other open world action RPGs you can be playing.
I feel attacked.
Good.
All right. Well, that's it for you.
Wait, you're not living by yourself anyway. You've got like 13 cats. So.
I know, but they just take pity on me.
True.
Yeah.
At least somebody does.
True. So that's it for you, Jacob. Do you have any final words before we move on?
I had actually come up with something, but now I forgot. So no, I hate Cole.
All right. Well, he's gone. Bye, Jacob.
Fuck out of here.
That's assuming you record with me tomorrow.
You're not supposed to pull away the curtain and let people see the inner workings of the show.
No one listens. It's okay. Next game to talk about is called Ride 4, developed and published by Milestone, released October 8th on Xbox One, PS4, and PC for $49.99. Are you ready to live the best gaming experience that a motorcycle fan can get? Ride 4 will spark your competitive soul with hundreds of bikes, dozens of tracks, and a whole new level of realism. And goddamn, am I bad at it.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
We should mention, I never played Ride 3. I believe Jacob covered it last year. I asked him if he wanted to cover this one. He declined, and I figured I would pick up the mantle since I covered Ride 2, and I really enjoyed myself with Ride 2. It's a really solid game, had a great time. Ride 4, it felt like a whole new beast, and I can't hang with it. It's out of my, I don't know if my skills have just deteriorated that much, which is very, very, very possible, or if the game has just progressed that much and I've just been left behind, which I think is possible. Well, let's get out of the way. Ride 4 is the latest in the street bike racing, track racing, motorcycle racing series. It has campaign mode or career mode where you go through a handful of events. I want to talk about the career mode. I really, really do, because it's a huge career mode with multiple leagues and championships to go through. The problem is I can't get anywhere in the career mode because I can't beat the tracks, and you have to complete the tracks to move on to the next race. And I have tried. There's a time attack where you have to complete the lap in like a minute 44. My best time is a minute 48. I have gotten a minute 48 about a half dozen times on this fucking track, and I can't get past it. So I figured, all right, huge meaty career mode. Let me go through the email to talk about like what is actually in this. Brings fast-paced challenges from all over the world with ultimate championships with the most powerful sport bikes, including a new endurance mode, which has my interest, with like hour plus long races. I love doing those. Like NASCAR. Every time we get a NASCAR game, I do a full length race just to do a full length race. I can't get anywhere. I can't. And it's frustrating because there's so much to this game and I can't experience it because it feels like it's gated off. It's not like I've never played a racing game before. So it's not like I'm new to this genre. I've played racing games. I can have a race where I don't fall off my bike, which is a good thing. And I still just get blown away by the AI. And I don't understand it. Like, it's not, they barely beat me. It's like they cross the finish line and I can't even see the finish line.
Are they rubber banding?
No, they're just in front of me.
They're just that much better.
Yeah.
Well, you suck. No, also that's not good. That's
no,
bad.
And I put it on the absolute easiest difficulty, which I guess in this game, it just means they're not as aggressive, but the fact that they don't change their line that much, I've been taken out by the AI in countless races. I put myself at the front starting position because you can adjust in a single race. You can adjust how many racers there are. You can adjust the weather. There's gorgeous weather conditions in this game. Like the visuals in this game are fantastic. You can adjust fuel management and tire wear for pit stops if you want to do that. You can turn them off if you don't want to put up with that. But yeah, I put myself to the front of the line. I would get to the first turn and guaranteed someone else would take me out. Clip my back tire, send me spinning out. And I would go through the race and come in, I don't know, last, 8th out of 12. Nothing amazing. I would try to fight back, but the leaders of the pack are just out there. Today I did a race. I had a flawless race. I started in first place. I finished second by about 12 seconds. I don't know how first place got so fucking far ahead. 12 seconds. And I was second.
Oof.
There were other racers behind. How does a first place AI get so fucking far ahead? It is just poorly designed AI. Ian saying it in chat, poorly designed AI. It's just the AI is trash in this game, and it killed any enjoyment I had for this game. If you are a casual racing fan and you are interested in the Ride series, Ride 4 is the bad place to get on board. Like Ride 2, I had a blast with. I don't know what the hell changed between Ride 2 and Ride 4 to make it such an unpleasant and unwelcoming game. $50 on this one. If you're a casual gamer, I give it an outright deny it. If you are a sim fan and you've got the patience to deal with some bullshit AI, there's a lot of game there. There is. They have online races. They have tons of tracks. The visuals are great. Looks great in 4K. It's just bullshit. That's the only way I could put it. The game is bullshit. And it really, really ruined my enjoyment of the game when the AI is just so brutally unfair.
Yeah. That sucks. I'm sorry.
It does suck because, like I said, I enjoyed Ride 2. I had a really good time with Ride 2. And I didn't play Ride 3. Now Ride 4 makes me wish I didn't play Ride 4.
Ouch.
It is just not welcoming at all. And they have tons of assists. Like there's braking assists and steering assists and, you know, the driving lines you can put on, and the physics you can adjust to simplistic or advanced. And it doesn't care. The AI is just going to kick your ass. Doesn't care. And
Damn.
Doc Havoc saying you're being the pack and out of nowhere an opponent breaks the game's own mechanic. No, it doesn't matter how fast you go. They're just on your tail the whole time. And then if you break wrong, they're going to speed in front of you. They're just perfectly programmed.
They never fuck up.
Yeah.
That's
So
unfortunate.
you can't win in a game like that. And I couldn't win, and I couldn't experience what the game has to offer. And I think that's just poor game design where I can't experience what's there because the game doesn't allow me to.
Yeah.
I couldn't even get into an actual career race. Like with all the racers, it was literally just time trials and time attacks. And the first event, if you went off the track an inch, you failed.
See, that's one of the reasons that I always avoid reviewing those kind of games.
Yeah.
Because I can't deal with that, with somebody having, as somebody with disabilities in my hands.
Yeah,
needing that kind of precision just doesn't happen.
It's frustrating and it's disappointing. But we'll see more games from Milestone. They do a lot, so we'll see something else from them, and I'm sure it'll be better than Ride 4 at least. But next game to talk about is called The Survivalist, developed and published by Team 17, released October 9th on Xbox One, Switch, PS4, and PC for $24.99. A living world full of surprises, secrets, and danger awaits in The Survivalist, an adventure-filled survival sandbox set in the escapist universe. Explore, build, craft, and even train monkeys with up to 3 friends in a desperate bid to survive. Have you got what it takes to be a survivalist? Cole, tell us about it. I
got what it takes to be dead a lot. Does that count for anything?
We're on a roll today, aren't we?
Well, you know, the thing is like, I say that, like, and it kind of comes off like it's a bad thing, but you're kind of meant to just die a lot until you get your bearings about you in a game like The Survivalist. I mean, survival's right there in the name, right? At least they're upfront with what you're getting. And it's not quite a roguelite. It's not a roguelite because you die, but you just get to spawn back at wherever you had a bet at. So you do lose your shit, but you can go back and get it. It's very much like you're playing a 2D pixelish Ark. And there's nothing to be mad about there. Well, the lack of dinosaurs. I could be mad about the lack of dinosaurs. If there were dinosaurs, then it would be like perfection. But there aren't. There's monkeys, and you have to deal with them instead. And you can't ride the monkeys.
Well, that's no fun.
So then that just blows the whole analogy out of the water, and that's depressing. But for the survival aspect, it's very much like you would expect if you're playing a survival game of this caliber. So you're going to be, you have to worry about finding food. You have to worry about things that'll attack you. It starts off like small stuff like bats. There's rabbits. They don't attack you, thank goodness. As somebody who's been bit by a rabbit, that fucking hurts. Pissed off rabbit is nothing to fuck with.
I've seen Monty Python, I know.
Yeah, they'll get you. I've got some scars. Not afraid to admit it. So there's rabbits that you can hunt, but there's other enemies that you can take on. Of course, they get more and more difficult to deal with as you go. That's the way a survival game rolls. I don't want to sit and spill all the beans on everything you're going to run into, because that would be awful. I got to leave you something for the imagination. There are caves that you can go into. Don't do that. They'll get you dead. You can craft a variety of items. Of course, you want to start off with crafting a bed and setting up a camp for yourself, learning how to cook. The game does a good job of telling you what you can do without telling you how to do it. And I've been bitching about this a lot lately. This seems to be a reoccurring problem in like everything. Don't just tell me I can do a thing. Please tell me how. I had to stumble across crafting just by randomly mashing buttons. So I was like, what will this do? And I pressed Y, and I was like, well, that wasn't what I expected, but it brings up a handcrafting menu. You can craft things on hand. For example, like a primitive knife and things like that. Again, it'll tell you need to do these things if you're going to survive, but it doesn't ever tell you here's how. You'll continue to build up a base. What we all really care about, though, is, well, first the cat butt on the screen.
Yep. Pork on my desk. Thank you, Pork. Your cameo was much appreciated. No one heard you, but
cat
you were there. Just like Carnage is there, but no one knows.
Cat butt made the review a 9 out of 10.
Pork, what'd you think of the game?
10 out of 10. The best part of it, though, is that you can play it with friends. And I'm one of those weirdos. Like, I know people like survival games where, like, you're just out in the middle of nowhere by yourself trying to survive. I already live out in the middle of nowhere by myself. I want to actually survive with somebody else. I want somebody to be there and watch the dumb shit I get into when I'm playing a survival game. And that's where the survivalist shines, because you can bring in friends and you can explore this map together. You can work together to collect resources, which is kind of vital, because a lot of these things that you need to craft require an obscene amount of resources that can be really difficult to get just as one person. So you definitely want to have a second person there. I would like to see playing solo maybe have some kind of like a little more balance to where things didn't require as much resources. I had an impossible time keeping with enough wood to keep my fire going and to cook food and still craft things I needed. And I felt like in the early game, all I did was go look for trees. Whereas when I had somebody else with me, I was like, you go look for trees. I'm going to look for coconuts. And things got a little bit easier to balance out.
So it's definitely a game where you want to have friends with you.
Yeah. It got to a point, too, where we were finally getting to where we could actually train the monkeys to do other useful things. So then the monkeys could go get the trees for us, and we didn't have to worry about it anymore. Once we finally got to that point, it kind of balanced out. And once I got to that point on my own, it balanced out a little more, but it still just felt like it was a little heavy-handed on the resource requirement for some of the crafting. It is a hard game, though. Even though it's forgiving enough to be like, well, you died and that sucks. Here you are back at your base and you can go get your shit. You don't really lose everything. It can still just be like really daunting to think you're in a good rhythm of crafting and building and then you die and you're like, well, son of a bitch. You feel defeated more than anything else. Like it's the emotional toll it takes on you that counts. But it's not difficult enough or frustrating enough that you ever feel like you're not making progress, which is a tough balance to strike in a survival game like this. So the fact that it was like, even if I died, I was like, well, I can build back up and try again, and I'm not all the way back at square one, so it's better. I far prefer that kind of gameplay over, well, you died, sucks to be you, start your base from scratch. I like that kind of gameplay too. But when I want something a little more mindless and I just want to play with friends, my friends are not as into that hardcore survival as I am. And so being able to I was playing with number one, and she just does not like roguelike elements at all. And so the fact that, there weren't any and she would die and she'd just come back and go back and get her shit, or I could go get it for her, was a lot better of a balance. I think it's a good starter survival game. Even if you don't think survival games are your shit, this is a good one to get your feet wet with. Other than just the whole balance of everything. Netcode, everything playing online worked fine. I didn't try to find a random host. You can just join a random game. I didn't want to do that because I sound like this, so I don't talk to random.
Hi, how are you doing? What the hell are you? Yeah, I've learned
my lesson about this shit. So that's not a thing that I do, but I do think it was nice that it was in there.
Overall, $25 on this one. What do you think of it?
I think it's buy it. $25. It has online. It's a solid, it's hard enough that if you're hardcore into survival games, you're still gonna have something to sink your teeth into, but it's easy enough that anybody can pick it up and play it. That's, like I said earlier, that's a hard balance to strike, and they did a really good job with it.
Yeah, I might have to give this one a go if it's newbie friendly, like you're saying. Yeah. It's good for beginners.
Yep, I think so anyway.
I'm not huge on survival games, but
you can do it. I have faith in you.
I'll play with you. I'll be your monkey.
Okay, you be the monkey. You can go fetch all the wood, and I can do the fun shit.
Okay. I will go get the wood. All right. That's what she said. Next game to talk about is called Reflection of Mine, developed by Red Black Spade, published by Ratalaika Games, released October 9th on Xbox One, Switch, and PS4 for $7.99. Help Lily Witchgan, a young girl who has dissociative identity disorder, discover which personality is the real one and uncover a dark plot as Lily navigates her mindscape. Can you solve the broken puzzle that is Lily's mind? Cole, what is Reflection of Mine?
So it's pretty much what you just described. It is a puzzle game. You are following the main character, whose name is Lily. You start off with her. She walks into her therapist's office, and this is where you start to discover that she has a split personality. And one of her personalities is like, happy, happy, joy, joy, my family is wonderful, I live in a nice house, and everything is great. And the other one is like, murder, murder, kill, death everywhere.
Good balance.
Yeah, she's yin and yang. It's fine. So the thing with Lily is that she's been through a traumatic event. I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but she's been through a traumatic event, and following this event, it was discovered that she had split personalities, and also that those split personalities had kept two separate diaries. So as you are uncovering the story or going through the game, you'll get different tidbits from both of the diaries. It's kind of up to you to figure out which one is telling the truth, which one's the actual memory. Because when Lily is in one of her other identities, she doesn't have a memory from being Lily anymore. she'll only remember what those other identities remember. She doesn't know until she's that other identity. She doesn't remember what she knew at that point. Am I making sense with that?
Kinda.
Okay. Only Lily can remember Lily's memories. She can't remember the other personalities' memories.
That makes sense.
There we go. All right. So when you're actually playing the game, it plays as a puzzle game. For the life of me, there was another one I played about a year, maybe 2 ago, that was identical to this. And I can't remember what it's called to save myself. It's been driving me nuts.
Too many games.
I know, it wasn't the same devs, although I had played something else from the dev, and I don't remember that one either. But the whole premise is Lily is on one side, her alternative personality is on the other. Okay? They have similar looking puzzles, although there are different obstacles throughout the puzzle to make it difficult to get through. So when you move one character, both characters move. It's one of those puzzles where you have to, like, say if you need one character to go 2 steps to the right, one only needs to go 1 step to the right, then you better hope the one that only needs to go 1 step to the right hits a wall so that the other one can go 2, and then you move them both up.
Carnage saying Fearful Symmetry.
I didn't play Fearful Symmetry. It was on the to-do list. It was one about lanterns. I will never remember what it was, but it involved lights, and you had to like turn the lights off in different ways and stuff.
I and Me, he says. Archaica. He's just gonna list off games.
Maybe I and Me. Oh Lord, don't Google that.
Don't Bing it. You'll find all the porn on Bing.
Yeah, which is like 2. No, not I and Me. I did play I and Me, and that wasn't it.
Anyway, reflection of mine.
Yeah. Anyway, holy fuck, I can't find the right tab now. Got too many open. Just look at my brain.
How do you?
So yeah, anyway, basically the point is get them both to the mirror on the opposite side to blend 2 reflections. One thing I do give them credit for is that there are a lot of options for accessibility. There are several different difficulty options. And then on top of that, you have the ability to give yourself some extra bonuses. Like, okay, how many steps it takes doesn't matter. Whereas on the harder difficulties, you only have a limited number of steps that you can take to get to the end. The easier difficulties just let you keep trying and retrying without any penalties. Likewise, they'll have unlimited deaths. You can just keep continuing, whereas the harder difficulties will set you further back, depending on the difficulty. There's also the option to where you can just kind of get like a burst attack, which will let you not necessarily attack, because it's a puzzle game. There's no combat. That's not entirely true. There are bosses. I always forget about that. I'm trying not to spoil any of that shit, though. But basically what it lets you do is it gives you 3 bursts you can do that will destroy obstacles in your path, make it easier for you to get out. I really give the game credit for making it so accessible. Ian brought up a good point in chat, though, that there was some problems with the game, that the way the game represents dissociative identity disorder. I think to an extent, some of the problem is cultural. And we in America tend to be a little more sensitive, although not as much as we should be, to mental health disorders of this variety. And other cultures, not so much, right?
No.
And so I think a lot of the issues with the way that it handles these kind of topics is more so a cultural and language barrier type of thing. I don't think they were intentionally trying to be negative or problematic. I just think maybe they didn't know any better.
No.
Yeah, Ian says it's with people being bothered with it being kind of portrayed as a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde kind of thing. And I can get it, but I do think it's just, they're just not culturally savvy about how to handle it. And I wasn't as bothered by it, but I think because I was kind of looking at it from that perspective. This isn't a game I would have picked up if I wanted a solid, like, experience of what it's like to have dissociative identity disorder.
No.
And I can understand that is a sensitive topic, but you know, if you're just picking up as you're like, it's an odd little puzzle game, that's where it's gonna come out on top at, as opposed to this is a genuine understanding of a mental health issue.
No.
If it's an issue that you have a problem with, then by all means, I'm not going to say that you should play this game. It's not going to change how you feel about it, you know? But if you're just looking for mindless puzzle, then it's fine.
Well, then $8, your verdict?
I think about $8, it's okay. I'm good with a try it. It's just one of those things that you kind of have to, you know how you stand on the subject matter.
Yeah. And
how it's going to affect you in that regard. And don't hesitate to say, hey, that's not for me because of what it stands.
Yeah. All right. Well, next game to talk about is called Cat Quest, developed by the Gentle Bros, published by P-Cube. We're talking about this one because Cat Quest 2 just celebrated its first anniversary, and they wanted us to take a look back. Can you believe we did an interview for this game, but we never actually covered it?
What?
Yeah, we interviewed for Cat Quest. And at the time, P-Cube wasn't working with us. And I think after the interview, they're like, oh, these guys are legit. Okay, we'll work with you. Huh. So this is our first review of Cat Quest, the multi-award-winning action RPG. Some say Diablo with cats, others say a super cute Skyrim. Whatever your take, Cat Quest loop-fueled cat ventures is beautifully crafted as its combat and magic are ultra-satisfying. Universally adored by critics, it'll have you purring for joy. I forgot to mention, released August 2017 for $12.99 and is available on Steam, Switch, and PS4. Cole, tell us about your time with Cat Quest.
I was super confused as to how I had reviewed Cat Quest 2 on PC and Xbox, and yet somehow didn't get my hands on Cat Quest 1.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you have explained it. I'm just like, oh. I'm one of those odd people who really likes to play games in order. And it was sad because I was so torn. I was like, play Cat Quest 2? I've never played Cat Quest 1. How am I supposed to? But it looks so adorable. I am happy to announce that now that I have played Cat Quest 1, a lot of shit in Cat Quest 2 now makes sense that didn't before. Like, I'm playing it and I'm like, oh, I was an idiot. It makes so much more sense now. Also, holy fuck, still as adorable and fantastic as I thought it should be. I'm really happy with Cat Quest. I really adore Cat Quest 2. I enjoyed it on the Xbox. It's one of the rare ones that I played on Steam just because that's where I had it. And I was like, fuck, Steam, it's cats. Let's go. I love the art style. Cat Quest 2 does have... it's funny because Ian says now with twice the pussy, and that's not true because your second character in Cat Quest 2 is a dog.
Yeah.
So I can tell you didn't play the game.
Anyway, this is about Cat Quest 1.
Cat Quest 1 just has you with the one character, and that character has a little spirit cat that follows them around. Very adorable. Little concerned that the spirit cat's name is literally Speary. Like, you could have put a little more effort in there. But at least
why?
It's all cat. It's all cats and it's all adorable, and I'm not mad at it. I learned to accept it. At least it's cute.
How can you get mad at Speary?
I'm not mad. It's just like...
You realize
anything.
all the awful puns in the game, right?
I do. But you know what? There's a level of punnery, right? Like, there's bad puns, and then there's carnage bad puns. But then there's cat puns, and those are way up at the top of tolerable puns. So, when cat puns are involved, I have to be more forgiving. I do think that the way that they work in some of the puns in these games, fucking brilliant. I'm just like, I see it. Number one hates puns even more than I do. And when I'm playing Cat Quest and they have a really good pun, I'm like, I'm saving that one. That one's coming back later. And just filling my own little reservoir of kitty puns. It's brilliant. There are dragons. There's 3 of them. Your sister's been abducted. You need to go hack and slash and whack at shit. As you level up, things get bigger for you to hack and slash and chop away at. You have an RPG element where you'll find articles of clothing. There's the RPG element in Cat Quest is definitely a more rudimentary version of the one in Cat Quest 2. You can buy gear from the blacksmith cat, who's literally named Kit Kat. You can buy gear from her, but in Cat Quest 2, if I remember correctly, you could specifically say, I want this specific armor or whatever. Mm-hmm. In Cat Quest 1, it's just there's 2 boxes. One's worth 50 coins and one's worth 5,000. And so if you hit the treasure chest for 50, because Lord knows I've never been able to afford the 5,000 one. If you hit the one for 50, then you just randomly get a piece of gear. If you get a piece of gear that you already had, unlike 2, where you can sell it and get your coins back out of it, and 1, it merges with the piece that you already had to give it a higher level. You don't have any say in how it merges or what, qualities from that piece or what get upgraded or anything. It just kind of does it all automatically. On the one hand, I fuss about that, but I play enough RPGs where I like to have that kind of control myself. If you were a kid playing this, though, that would be super useful.
No.
And I can't help but be like, yeah, I can see how they would decide to go with that kind of system. Even playing it as somebody who likes to min-max and focus on that shit for myself, at the same time, I was like, I'm kind of playing this mindlessly, and that's just aiding in that. And I'm not mad. I don't care to let the game handle upgrading shit for me just so I can go smash more dragons. It's kind of brilliant. There are tons of side quests that you can get into. I have shiny object syndrome. Every time I walk past the board and there's an exclamation point, I'm fucked.
Yep.
I gotta go pick up the other side quests. I can't even, I feel weird complaining about some of the elements of this game.
Because they've been fixed already in the sequel?
Because they've been fixed already. Like, one of the biggest things that was standing out to me was that in 1, my health bar and my mana bar are under the character, and so they're kind of small. And they get lost in the ruckus when you're fighting, right? Mm-hmm. But then in 2, I was like, in 2, it's already up in the left corner, and it's a non-issue, so why would I even bitch about it now? So it's one of those that, like, if you're playing it backward like I am, it's a little bit jarring, because it's already been fixed. But if you're picking up 1 and then picking up 2 to play it properly as you should, then don't get what's the word I'm looking for? Disjointed by the shit that's in 1 that needs fixed, because it's been fixed by the time you get to 2.
No. Well, the first one being $13, what do you think?
I'm still gonna give it a buy it. It's still really solid. It holds up. It's a lot of fun.
And
I love Cat
And I
Quest.
still hope they bring it to Xbox eventually. Come on, gentle bros, do it.
They brought 2. There's no good excuse.
We need the first one. We need the complete story on Xbox. Let's do it. Next game to talk about is called Birthday of Midnight, developed by Petite Games, published by Ratalaika Games, released September 29th on PS4, 30th on Xbox, 2nd on Switch for $4.99. Everyone's favorite fairy is back and ready to be once again launched into the sky, but as always, treacherous obstacles like spikes, circular saws, and plenty of other dangerous hazards are par for the course. Haha. To earn a perfect score, you must accurately complete each level in the minimum number of strokes, providing an additional layer of challenge. Do you have the skill to swing for a hole-in-one? Serlina covered this one, wrote in a review, and this is what she's got to say. Good evening, SML friends and fam. It's Serlina, and this time I'm reviewing Birthday of Midnight for the PS4. Developed by Petite Games and published by Ratalaika Games, Birthday of Midnight is an action puzzle game where you play as the aforementioned Midnight, whose birthday has been literally ruined, and you have to figure out how to navigate the tricky situation you find yourself in and get back home to your mom and dad. Let's get to the review. The premise of the game is pretty easy. It's Midnight's birthday, but the party was interrupted in the most insane way possible, and now you have to get Midnight through this darkened world with the most precise puzzle solving I've seen in a hot minute. Midnight is the cutest square you'll ever see, but Midnight can only move by way of jumping with angles, hitting things to change the momentum of the jump, and sometimes rolling depending on what you hit and how you land. That's it. You use the cross button to prepare the jump, your left stick to set your angle and force of the jump, then you let go and see what happens. You can't change anything once you let go, so you are at the mercy of your angle, the force, and whatever environment is there. Some of the environments can help or hinder you, and the rest will result in death. Also, a lot of the levels just have open spaces called boundaries. Overshoot a jump and go past the boundary, and that's a death and a restart. The restarts are what they are, and once you pass a level, you earn up to 3 stars based on how many jumps it took you, and you get to the end of the level. Easy, right? Well, kind of. The levels do get harder as you progress. The angles and math aren't my thing at all, so it was quite challenging but rewarding to get through the levels. The game isn't that long, and the achievements are super easy to get, but by the time I got to level 27, I had all the achievements except 2, which was get to level 50 and get all the other achievements. This is also around the same time that the difficulty ramped up and I got frustrated and took a break. I imagine a person more familiar with this type of puzzle game will be able to get through all 72 levels with a bit more ease than I did. Graphically, the game is gorgeous. The game is in black and white, but it's clear, crisp, and well designed. The Midnight sprite, being the little square with eyes that it is, almost pops off the background. Levels are interesting to play and look at, so you definitely won't get bored with this one. The music is also top-notch, with one of the best renditions of Happy Birthday that I've heard in a long, long time. Throughout the level, the music is somber with a tinge of hope, almost as if the game knows itself, your situation, but is rooting for you. Birthday of Midnight is available right now on PS4 and a couple of other platforms for $4.99, and should you buy it? As I said before, this isn't really my type of game, but I did have a lot of fun with it. At the price point, fuck it, why not? There's no reason not to play it, especially if you're one of those types that likes to test themselves with puzzles and getting all 216 stars. If you're an achievement hunter, you've just got to make it to level 50, and you never have to pick this one up again. There's something for everyone here, and it's cheaper than a venti. Knock yourself out and have fun. Cole, what did you think?
I had a really good time with it. I played the first Midnight game, and I thought it was pretty difficult. And I think it was, even though everybody was like, oh, it's an easy completion, I think I didn't even complete it because I was like, fuck this is hard. But playing Birthday to Midnight, I actually completed it on accident. I was like, oh, I should check and see how much I've got to do to get all the achievements. And it was like, you have 1 achievement left. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, well, I guess I'll do a couple more levels to see how close I am to the level 50, right? Mm-hmm. And then it popped like 2 levels later, and I went, okay, I'm done. I like the aesthetic of the game. I think they did a really good job, a better job even in this one with balancing out the physics, and that's kind of why it felt like it was maybe a little easier. But it was also a little more creative with the kind of obstacles that it presented. So yeah, I was really on board with it. I think this one is definitely better than the first.
I hit a pretty nasty spike in like the level 30s, and I kind of gave up in the middle there.
Really?
Like 37 or 38, there was one that I hit that I just could not figure out.
I definitely had a couple levels where it was a little harder, but it was never anything as frustrating as the first game. And I was like, yeah, this is fine. I'm just rolling through this.
Yeah, well. Anyway, next game to talk about is called Smart Moves, developed by Grin Robot, published by Zetalon, released October 9th on Xbox One for $4.99. Smart Moves is a puzzle game with a strong roguelike feel, different worlds with levels of increasing difficulty, sneaky monsters, unexpected obstacles, and great treasures await you. Smart Moves are the key to survival. Cole, tell us about Smart Moves.
So this is a puzzle game where each level is presented as a grid, and then every time you move, if there are enemies nearby that have kind of latched onto you, your movement affects their movement, and they will hunt you down. In this case, early on in the game, it's snakes. And I'll be perfectly honest, I don't know if it gets anything other than snakes because I got too fucking annoyed with it to find out. This is one of those puzzle games that doesn't follow the rules it sets for its own universe. That frustrates me.
What do you mean by that?
So the rule is supposed to be when you move, the enemy moves, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So in theory, if I make a move forward and there's a snake 2 blocks ahead of me, it should move forward 1. Then we should be face to face. And at that point, I should have an attack because it doesn't move until I move, correct?
Okay.
Doesn't happen. If I move forward 1, the snake moves forward 1 and it immediately attacks me through the other block. It doesn't wait until it's directly in front of you to do the attack. It kind of like moves too soon.
The only time I've ever been killed is when you're moving onto the same block.
No, I definitely had instances where we were not on the same block. It was if it was a case of I had moved forward, the snake would be a whole block between us and it would get me. And that's not cool.
I haven't had that.
I'm happy for you. Because that shit happened to me a lot.
I would have to see you playing to understand what's happening. Because the only time that I've died in the game was when we would move on to the same square or when an enemy would move onto my square.
There were times even where I would be killed diagonally. And I was like, I know that ain't supposed to be happening.
No, I think something's up with your install. Or something's up with the game. Or I don't know. That sounds weird.
Like the whole premise itself seems easy enough, right? You have a grid, you move around, you collect the chests, collect all the chests, and you're done. They even go far enough as to, like, in later levels, add a checkpoint system where you can collect paper and a checkpoint. If I can't remember now if there was a way you could rewind, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember. I got frustrated. I'm not even lying. It was just like, fuck. I've never been so annoyed with a puzzle game. But it felt like it was just kind of, like Ian said, for me, better than Mia said. It felt like it broke its own rules to suit its convenience. And then I died in ways that didn't seem like I should logically be dying. Because I would be attacked. If the snake absolutely should have needed to move at least one more block before I could die. But then I would just fall over anyway.
Yeah, I want to see you play this to see what's happening.
Yeah, I'll have to reinstall it. That's how mad I got. I was like, fuck it.
Wow.
I just uninstalled it. And I don't typically do that. I will suffer through a lot. But when I feel like a game is just outwardly being unfair, I tried a couple of different times to make sure that I wasn't the one that was the problem. Like sometimes it can be a little hard to get my bearings about a game. But I don't think that was the case because I picked it up pretty quickly that I was supposed to be moving in certain patterns. And
well, I know Zidalon listens to these, so maybe they could chime in and comment on what's going on with this one.
Yeah. I'm glad it worked for you. And maybe it has something to do. I play on 1S. Who knows? Maybe it's just something went screwy in that department. Anything could happen. I don't want to just flat out be like, deny this game, fuck it, it's terrible. That's not the situation. There's a lot of good involved. There's the whole concept of the movement system and the rules of the game and how you're supposed to move around and the fact that there are just a shit ton of levels. But for me personally, I had an issue with that was a game breaking bug.
No.
But that doesn't mean everybody's gonna have it.
Well, then $5 your verdict.
Can I go with a fuck it? Why not?
Yeah.
Because at $5, if you buy it and it breaks, it was $5.
Yeah.
You know.
And otherwise, it's some easy achievements.
Yeah, and you might just be fine with it, like Joe was, or you might have an issue like I did. Anything could happen, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a weird one. We'll have to revisit that one if you reinstall it and things seem fixed. It doesn't sound right. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I was dead.
final game to talk about is called Dark Grim Mariopolis, developed by Team Mariopolis, published by Zytilon. I said Zytilon before, and now I get to the name again, and I go Zytillion again.
Rip.
What is wrong with me? Zytilon.
You got this.
Released October 9th on Xbox One for $4.99, introducing Dark Grim Mariopolis, a classic adventure game set in a world combining noir Greek mythology, magic, mysticism, hopeless entourage of Greco-Roman age of decadence, and stifling everyday routine. Cole, tell us about this one.
What a fucking wild-ass game. Let me point out, first of all, that this game has that very retro aesthetic where it's very pixely and blocky. We all know how much I hated Uncanny Valley for using that art style.
Mm-hmm.
And yet Dark Grim Mariopolis uses it, but then cranks it to 11 by only using 2 colors per scene. That was really, really difficult to get my head wrapped around. And it can be kind of tough to figure out what you're supposed to be interacting with and moving around with in the level. That said, this is such a cool idea. The story is really abstract and wild and kind of hard to get your head around. And it's not going to be for everybody because of that. If you the aesthetics aside, the aesthetics are one thing that's already going to make it kind of a tough game to sell. But the story is really wild, and there are definitely some issues. They didn't hesitate to throw an R word at me pretty early in the game. The game is developed by a Russian, and it's originally in Russian. And I think there's some language barrier issues going on with the story because there's a lot that doesn't make sense. And they do a fairly decent job at some of the translations, but some stuff you're just kind of leaning back going, what the fuck does that even mean? I don't know what you're going for here, but it's either way, it's going to end up weird. So your main character, fuck if I can't even remember his name now. Everything was so weird about it. Your main character is...
Was it Thor?
Thor, yes. I think I kind of let it get lost as to whether that was the main character, because like I said, this gets really fucking weird.
Yeah.
So your main character Thor is a robot, I think. I don't know if he's whole robot or just kind of robot, and again, that's the art style choice kind of makes it hard to tell what's going on there. But he's been through some shit. And he's going to go through some shit with you in the game as well. I stole a fish at one point and had to figure out how to get the fish past the guard at the bar while sweet talking the bartender so that I could get a key so that I could go through a tunnel instead, like a locker, it described it as. But it looked more like some kind of like cubby portal. It's so weird. And then at another point, remember how I said it's all 2 colors per scene?
Mm-hmm.
I had to do a puzzle where I had to make orange, but the whole scene was black and white.
Okay.
And it basically starts you off with you have red, green, and blue, and you have to make orange. And I don't understand how I did it. I solved it on accident. But it worked out, and I got a birthday card, and then I got to give it to a headless dinosaur. And he was happy, but then he told me that I had to go to a pentatonic temple because a priest had stolen a diary. I don't know what happens in this game.
This is a fucked up game.
I played it and I just existed through it. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think there's some positives to having a game that just kind of leaves you going, what the fuck am I living through here? That could be kind of fun. But also at the same time, what the fuck did I live through here?
Yeah, even the description on the store is like, you are some sort of a detective and therefore you need to investigate, but why? That's the thing you're going to find out, or maybe not.
Yeah. You're a detective, and yet everybody keeps asking you when your next music album's coming out. Like, yeah. I don't understand.
It's such a weird game, but for only $5, what do you think of it?
I think of $5, it's kind of a fuck it, why not? It's one of those that, like, if you get high, you probably would have a good time playing it while high.
Oh, so I should
try it while you're stoned. Imbibe a little or drunk. It might work with that. Also, you may get sick, and also it uses the R word pretty liberally, so take that into consideration.
I'm used to Chris Huber doing that, so
don't say the R word.
I don't.
Okay, but yeah, fuck it, why not? Just
cool.
Know what you're getting. You're not getting a solid story. You're getting some wild shit.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is it for this episode. We made it through another one.
We did it.
We did it. Hooray.
It's making fun of how I said white.
Black and white.
That is, I don't care how much I do. I'm never going to say that word right.
Well, thanks to you for being here, doing your thing. Thanks to Jacob for coming on and doing his reviews as well.
No, fuck Jacob.
Yeah, fuck Jacob.
We don't say thanks, Jacob.
But we do say thanks to Chris Baker of Zen for coming on and chatting with us. Love having Chris on. We'll have to get him back on again soon. Always a good time having the Zen guys on. Got to get Mel back on again soon, too.
Yes.
We got to get Ball Squad back again somehow.
Get the Ball Squad back together.
Oh, man. Ball Squad. Do 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 do.
Speaking of, for a second there, it started to devolve into the Zelda theme. That's what my kids are playing.
Shut up, Cole. I'm doing the A-team.
Yeah, I'm talking about important things.
Shut up. Shut up.